camera into each other.
Yeah, so 45s.
2, 1, and we're rolling.
Welcome everybody to Match Value. We have today 20 contestants, 10 beautiful men and 10 beautiful women who are in competition to see if they're going to get picked for a trip to Costa Rica. How exciting is that?
Super exciting. I can't wait. There's going to be some sparks flying. We're going to talk about some hot button topics. So I'm excited to get started, Fox.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am Fox Red Sky. I am your matchmaker here on Match Value, and I'm also the host. So I'm just here to bring a little bit of vulnerability, sensitivity, and really get people to pull back the layers, really dive deep into their soul, and find out what they really, really want.
I'm Joe Bookoff. I've helped over 180 guys around the world get more matches on dating apps by taking kick-ass dating profile photos. And I am here to offer the male experience to help bring out the vulnerability in the guys and to help bring realness and vulnerability into the space so that we can explore these topics.
Oh my God, are you excited, Joe?
So excited.
I think this is gonna be really, really fun, you guys. And you know, for the audience at home, I know that y'all are probably going through the same kind of dating dilemmas around relationships as well. So let's see, just now, based on looks, what the boys think and what the girls think. Ooh. Cut. All right. Let's
You guys just want to keep running it back, or?
No. I think we should do it one more time.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep rolling. You guys can keep going
Okay.
as many times as you want.
All right.
Wait, to the camera guys, can we get one on
You need about
Joe? So camera 1 looks good, I think, on Joe. So we want one that turns, when Joe turns to Fox, we want to see his face. And then I want camera 3 to be hand to the left. So we can get that Fox, when Fox turns to Joe, we can get that frontal.
Yeah.
Roll it, yep. And we might want to raise it a little bit. So, you know what, that's good. Camera 2 though, can we get a little bit closer, a little tighter of a shot? Let's get them both on the thirds.
I know you're a little bit taller. Taller than
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm a lot short.
It's all right. I'm also not a very tall guy, so.
Definitely more centered. Push in. Look up and up, yeah. Let's try to get Joe's left temple on that top right third. Yeah, let's get to that point, and then hopefully Fox will be on the other third. That looks like it is about there. That looks good. I like this. Okay.
We can both kneel a little bit.
All right, we're rolling.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Match Value. This is our first ever episode, and let me tell you something. We have in store for you some amazing possible couples. So we have 10 very sexy, very intelligent, beautiful, aware men, and we have 10 lovely ladies. And each one of these beautiful, single, adorable Austinites are looking for a match. Will they find one?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I don't know, but I will tell you, there's one couple, if we find them authentic and we find that there's a real spark, they're in a chance to win a trip to Costa Rica, all expenses paid. Isn't that amazing?
Super exciting. I have heard so many good things about Costa Rica. The tropical weather, the beaches. They're in for a treat.
They are. Oh my goodness. And just so you know, I am Fox Red Sky. I am your host for Match Value, but also I'm a professional matchmaker. That is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all are getting a chance to see behind the scenes of what goes through a matchmaker's mind.
And I'm Joe Bookoff. I've helped over 180 guys around the world get more matches and more dates on dating apps and find the woman of their life. And I'm excited to bring the vulnerability and the authenticity and the depth that I put in my business towards this show.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so lucky. So
Thank you for trusting me.
absolutely. So I'm just so excited to see the possible love that might be filling our audience tonight. So good luck to all of our contestants.
Let's get started.
Yes.
I'm cool with
That was
that.
great.
Yeah.
That's the one. What do you think? What do you think?
Let's do one more, but yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get back in our. Let me scooch up to you a little bit. Or maybe a little bit like, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Well, welcome to Match Value, our first ever episode here. And we are lucky to be located here in Austin, Texas. And we have picked 10 very special, beautiful, fabulous people, men and women, so 20 total contestants, to participate in a winning of a free trip to Costa Rica. Oh my goodness, isn't that exciting?
Super exciting. There's going to be some tropical beaches in one of these couples' future. Tropical beaches, some Mai Tais, and a beautiful villa, all expenses paid.
So what are we trying to do here on Match Value? Well, we're trying to get people to really be honest about what they do. We all judge people based on their looks, but then that rating may go down. And that might be because you open your mouth.
We're going to explore some hot button topics like monogamy, like differences in preferences and sexuality, like who should pay on the first date. And we're going to have them talk with each other, and then based on what they say, their value will go up and or will go down in their potential suitor's eyes.
Exactly. So I'm Fox Red Sky. I'm actually a professional matchmaker in the real world, located here in Austin, Texas. And so I'm going to be using my skills to help navigate these men and women to the best possible match. And I'm so excited to be here today.
And I'm Joe Bookoff. I've helped over 180 guys find love on dating apps by taking authentic, flattering dating profile photos. And I'm here to add the depth and authenticity and realness that I bring to my business into this show.
Well, I'm so excited. I think we have some people waiting. What is the first thing we're doing? I think we're going to bring the women in to judge the men based on the looks and then vice versa. So y'all are in for a treat, audience.
Let's get started.
Are we good?
And I will start speaking. Are you recording because the camera's not turning red? Did you hear what I said? Anyone? Anyone? Usually when the camera is recording, that light will be red.
We're recording from the.
Okay. All right. So first on the chopping block are the men, ladies. So first impressions are very important. There's excitement, there's curiosity. Contestants, let's take time to look and judge each other based solely on looks. All right? Okay, so we're going to have our first gentleman come out. And ladies, y'all will get to make y'all's first impression. Okay, go ahead.
Where do I stand?
That's a good spot.
Awesome.
All right. So introduce yourself, name, age,
Sit in the chair.
where you're from. Oh, sit in the chair.
Which chair? This one? Yeah, the other one. This one.
Yeah, all right. Name, age, where you're from.
What makes you a great catch?
Oh gosh, where do I start? Goodness gracious. My name is Greg Carlson. I'm 35. I grew up. Thank you. Can you hear me? Greg Carlson. I'm 35. I grew up on a farm in upstate New York. Believe it or not. Then, what happens next? What makes me a catch? Okay. Well, I think as a provider in a family, women might feel that income producing is important. So I do a good job at that, number one. I'm also well educated. I've read nearly 1,000 books, and I've applied them to my life and business. I work out nearly every day because you got to stay healthy, right? You got to have that gene pool going. That's my belief. Yeah, let's think.
And what would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
Well, I definitely don't look like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, so I'm gonna say a solid 8.
Awesome. And if you want to, you're more than welcome. Could you give us your best dance move for the ladies?
Best dance move?
Yes.
Always. My pleasure. Of course. Oh man, do I have this song pulled up on my phone? I sure hope I still do.
He was ready, y'all guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Y'all stay fired up.
All right. Okay. Ladies, what did y'all think?
He was cute. Yeah, he was cute. I'm going to say I agree with him. I'm going to give him an 8 because he came out with style points. He immediately made us laugh, which always makes a man cuter, right? So I'm going to say he's got a solid 8.
I really liked his demeanor. He seems really kind. I also really loved his dance moves. Yeah, he definitely made me laugh, and he definitely left a good first impression. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he came out with
great personality. He's definitely like game, which is a huge plus.
Yeah, I want to rate his outfit. I think it was really well done. Really well done. Like the blazer is like giving professional, like I mean business. The jeans are like, but I'm also like relaxed. Not a big deal. He had a branded undershirt, which is good. So even though it's like an undershirt, he didn't like go to Walmart or whatever. So it's I actually was I didn't even know he was going to speak, so I was just evaluating his looks. But also he got a haircut. I think that's really good. So
Yeah, awesome. Thank
Really-
you. Let's wait for our next one. We have a lot of boys to go through. Okay, bring in the next one.
Awesome. Can you give us your name, your age, where you're from, and what makes you a great catch?
So my name is Trenimus Briggs, and I'm level 41, and I'm from Boise, Idaho. What makes me a good catch is that I know how to lead a woman. I know how to lead my life. I'm emotionally intelligent, and I've messed up a lot in my life and have learned some really great things that seem to help and be better and to be the best man I can be. And I'm committed to helping as many men as I can and also enjoying life to the fullest.
Awesome. And what would you rate yourself?
I would rate myself a solid 8. Say there's always room for improvement, and I've come a long way.
And would you like to share any dance moves with the ladies? It's up to you.
Like to? Man, he was brilliant to actually bring out some music. I was scrambling right beforehand. I'm like, oh shit, that was a great idea. Okay, I'm gonna put some random song on and see what happens. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Dance songs, full energy. Let's just see. I'm gonna put it on shuffle and see. Oh boy, that looks like an Indian song. That's not gonna be it.
Do it, do it.
There you go.
Love it, love it.
Oh, I like it. Try again that. Oh boy, let's get crazy.
Thank you
great.
so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate.
Thank
Okay.
you, thank you.
We're gonna start over here. Thank you so much. We're gonna talk about you as you leave.
Yeah.
You know, that's where that works.
I thought he was interesting. I'll say that. I'm still kind of taking it in. I thought it was interesting that he said he was level 41 instead of he was 41 years old. Interesting way to look at life. I also thought it was interesting that he said he knows how to lead a woman. My immediate thought was, I don't need to be led, but I'm also just hyper independent, and that's just me personally. But I'd like to get him to know him more and to, talk to him a little bit. Seems like an interesting guy.
I actually really like that he said he could lead a woman because I can see his intent behind that is not to be like forceful, but more to just be a leader. And like as a woman, I actually really enjoy that. I think that, I'm so busy and so into my like what I'm doing. I get lost a lot, and to have a man that I could see as my rock and I could go to, I really like that. And I really liked his eyes. His blue eyes really stood out to me.
I think confidence is key, and he was very confident. So I think that's really attractive in a man. And he was very tall, so bonus points.
I think that he was very cute. He dressed well, and I think that I would definitely like to get to know him more, like more of his hobbies and interests and everything. But yeah, I like that he loves to lead, so I'm on board with that.
he gives me boy next door vibes. Like, I don't know if it was the shirt, but it's like, okay, like I bring you home for Christmas and we cuddle and we have a dog or something like that. But outside of December, I'm not sure. But he's super, super sweet.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, next person. Alrighty then. Okay, we just need your name, your age, where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
My name's Blake Bruin. I'm 26. I'm from California. And like James Brown, I look good, I smell good, I feel good, and I make love good.
Alrighty then. And what would you rate yourself?
I rate myself a 9. I think there's always room for improvement.
Okay. And your choice, of course. Would you like to share some moves with the ladies, some dance moves?
Sure, yeah. Why not? Of course.
So if you could imagine yourself here for a second, a little spin.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you so much. All right, ladies. We'll wait till he leaves. We'll start here in the middle. What did you think?
I thought he was super cute, but I wish that we got to know him a little bit more. The catch part, what makes him a catch. I think the dance moves were great. But yeah.
I do agree with you. Like his dance move kind of gave us more personality than his answers. So that definitely left me a little bit curious, and I would not rate him what he rated himself. Maybe 0.5, because like he did have like a deep voice and like all the looks, like just not my type though, you know?
Yeah, I thought he was cute, and I'd like to get to know him more. Yeah, so
I think on first impression, even though he's from California, he comes off as having a little bit of that like Southern charm. Like he's very confident. He's very like more charismatic. So that's a plus for him.
All right, we'll go ahead and bring the next one in.
Just 1 second.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
So, if you could tell the ladies your name, your age, where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
Cool, sure. I'm Ryan Tennell. I'm 35. I live here in Austin, 14 years. Grew up originally in Dallas, so good old Texas boy. And things that make me a good catch: I'm tall, in shape, I do okay for myself, and I can provide a life of passion, excitement, and mystery.
Oh, awesome. And what would you rate yourself?
Like out of 10? I think I'm 8 out of 10.
Awesome. And do you have any moves you want to share with the ladies?
Any dance moves?
Any dance moves?
I'll give a little preview. A little bit of this right here.
Ooh, oh yes. Yes, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to start over here.
I would say I thought he was really attractive. I love tall men and I love big ears, which is random. So I thought he was really attractive. I think Southern charm always works on the ladies. So I think he was well rated.
Yeah, I thought he was very handsome. He's very tall. He's funny, and yeah, he's adventurous. So that's a huge one for me.
I'm unsure. Like, his answer was sexy. I think the mystery part got us all. We're like, ooh, we like or got me. But it's like nothing about his demeanor gave mystery. Like, I felt like I could read him. Like, I'm like, what kind of mystery are you gonna bring me? So I'm unsure. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he like Googled that and like, what would women want? I'm not sure. Oh yeah.
He kind of gave off cowboy vibes a little bit. But yeah, also, yeah, he seems nice. He's cute. I'm not sure if he's for me, but yeah, I kind of like that whole like Southern thing he's got going on. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One more. Go ahead.
I agree with you. His answer didn't necessarily match his appearance, but I did appreciate that he's like a little self-effacing and just seemed kind of relaxed, which is always a plus. You know, he didn't seem too like, I mean, he was happy to get up and do his two-step and like didn't seem like nervous about it at all, which is great.
Yes. All right then. I'm gonna pass that mic back, and we'll get the next one in.
Okay, next.
Hello.
Hi. So, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself with the ladies, just give us your name, your age, where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
All right. Hi, I'm Paul. I'm 43 years old. I'm born and raised in San Diego, California. And I'm a catch because I pet all the kittens, I pick the date spots, and whatever else can be said about me, at least I'm not boring.
Awesome. And what would you rate yourself 1 to 10?
Well, this is the worst possible answer because if you literally just asked a person to pick a random number between 1 and 10, this is statistically the most common one. But I genuinely think I rock about a 7.
Right on. And do you have any, up to you, do you have any dance moves you want to show the ladies?
Well, as you can probably tell by looking at me, I am a tango dancer. And these aren't the right shoes and this isn't the right floor, but I think I can pull something off.
You maybe a volunteer?
Someone wanna?
Yeah, come on. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Ow! Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul. That was lovely. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I do need the mic. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pass this around. Who wants to talk about Paul? All right.
Okay. So what y'all think, ladies?
I thought he was cool. I kind of like his vibe. He's kind of a little too skater for me, but yeah, he's cool.
I will say, based off of looks at first, when he walked out, I was like, He's in his 40s, and he's dressed like that. I was a little like, okay, that's interesting. But then he kind of redeemed himself with a dance move. So I was like, okay, I'll give him some style points for that.
Well, I love older men, so he would be perfect for me. But I think that definitely the dance moves that he had pulled off was amazing, but not into the outfit that he was wearing today.
Yeah, he kind of came out with like the skater bad boy vibe at first, and then didn't really match, I feel like, his personality. And then, but I did appreciate the way that he was like leading me on the dance floor.
Ooh.
So that was cool.
Very nice. And one more.
Yes, I enjoyed his, the dancing. Like he was kind of a nice surprise, a little bit of a diamond in the rough, I felt like. But yeah, definitely would love to see him spruced up and like what that would be.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, we're up to our next one now. So, we are out of our next one. All right. Well, I guess we will take a break right now. And let me set the mic down. All righty then. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind sharing with the ladies your name, your age, where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
I'm Ben. I'm 30, and I'm from Austin, Texas. I would say that I'm a catch because my highest values are interpersonal relationships and community, and a lot of the things I aspire to. I think if someone was aligned with those, they would find themselves aligned with me in a sort of catch-like scenario.
And what would you rate yourself?
In this crowd, I would say I'm a 6.
And do you have any dance moves you want to share with us?
I mean, I could.
Ooh. Oh, thank you so much. We'll start at the back. He is. He seems very shy.
He was so sweet. Oh my lord. He was definitely a little nervous. I would be too. I'm not blaming him for that. Very shy, I like his voice. He's very like soft spoken, and I'm very loud, so it's kind of like nice to hear someone who just like, I feel like I could fall asleep to that voice, you know?
It seems like he has his eye on a really nice prize, but he's tall, he has curly hair, he's pretty handsome. I think a shy demeanor sometimes can be even more like suave in that way because they're not trying to prove something to you. They're just being who they are, and they're more like reserved. But I think his rating was a little low for himself. He could have done a 7 or an 8.
Very humble.
Yeah, it was a very humble answer, but I think he was a nice guy.
What would y'all rate?
I would rate him a 7 or 8.
Do you want to say that on the mic?
Yeah, it's like the second he said he was a 6, I was like, no, honey, bump it up. Like, you have value. You know what I mean? And so like, it was a sweet demeanor, and his shoes were such a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's from Austin, and I'm from Austin. Unicorns. That I love anybody from Austin. But yeah.
All right, we'll take one more.
He's got great curls, and he should, really own that in his rating of himself. Because a man who can take care of his curls is hard to find. Yeah, he's super sweet. And though, like, I don't think he's as shy as he comes off, right? Like, he clearly is, like, more confident than, like, his shy demeanor. So love that for him.
Can I hear a little bit from? It sounds like you have something to say.
Yeah, I'm curious if this was like a little bit of an act, like because like it pulls on women's heartstrings to be like, oh, yeah, I'm like a tall, curly-haired, handsome man, but I don't know it, like I'm just like, come on, but he's cute, and I think he does have the shy boy in him. I just think he like over leaned on that for this.
Well, ladies. We're gonna take a break, and after these messages, it'll be y'all's turn. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut for now, and y'all can have a break and take a bathroom, and hopefully we have some snacks available.
Okay, we're rolling.
I like your set too. I can. Are we rolling? Awesome. Okay, so just here are the ladies, and if you could just introduce yourself by your name, your age, where are you from, and what makes you a great catch?
Yeah, so my name is Songwai Atarorox, or most people call me Sonny. I'm 25. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't take myself too seriously. I don't know. I do cool stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, and what would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
Honestly, I'll do an 8. I'll do a cool 8.
Okay, and can you give us some dance moves?
Dance, Jesus.
Woo!
I don't know. I try my best. I don't know.
All righty then. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Are we going to start in the back?
I have some words.
Okay.
All right. Number one, my name's Rain. His name's Sunny. We're basically meant to be. That's my man. Just kidding. He has like a weird vibe, and I dig it. Like I like his weird vibe. He has a weird energy. Like he's a strange man, and I thought his dance move was really cool. So.
Okay.
He's a little short for my taste, but he was cute. He was friendly. I liked him. I would say like his rating is fair.
I don't know about me. Sorry, I was not vibing with the whole thing, and I feel like he was a little bit passive. Probably could not be taken seriously. I don't know, but I wasn't feeling it.
You want to move that mic to the front?
I think he's a confused boy. Very confused boy. And he's short, and his shoes was a vibe. I loved his shoes, but not for me.
Okay, one more.
He seemed a little like nervous and unsure of himself, and I'd say, yeah, a little short for my taste, even though I'm a short girl. Yeah, definitely not for me.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can't bring the next gentleman in. All right, come on in. All right, just have a seat right here. Okay, so just give us your name, your age, and where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
So my name is Angus. I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm 23. And I would say what makes me a great catch is, I don't do too much fishing, so like, I'll stick with the 1.
All right. And what would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
I'll go with the 7. Seems pretty solid.
Okay. And do you want to share any dance moves with the ladies?
Usually I'm pretty sauced by the time we get to dancing, so the place.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, ladies. All right, go ahead. Be nice.
So he is he's funny. I like that he's funny. A little young for me, and I felt like maybe a little unkempt, but I really enjoyed he was hilarious.
That was a lot.
I think he's just a little bit too young for me, and I think that, I don't know, just trying to express yourself or like put yourself out there, he was not talking about himself as much.
He reminded me of that song where it's like, everyone hates you when you're 23. And yeah, I think he's got some maturing to do for sure. The fishing comment was, but I wouldn't rate him a 7.
And one final.
I was kind of digging the young vibes. I kind of typically date guys that are like my age or a little bit younger, so there's that. But yeah, I do feel like he could have been a little bit more like thorough in his answers. Yeah, I kind of liked his vibe.
Awesome. All right. I think we got one more, ladies. All right, have a seat. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind just saying your name, your age, and where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
So my name is Leo. I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm 26, and I'm a good catch probably because I don't fall for the bait.
And what would you rate yourself?
1 out of 10, I'm lucky number 7.
And do you have any dance moves to share with us and the ladies?
My go-to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Who wants to start?
I think that his outfit was nice. It was put together. You could see the intentional like matching brown and brown. I like that. I think he's cute. I think he's like right. He rated himself perfectly on the dot. I think he did good.
I wasn't feeling the energy. Like I feel like he didn't really present anything. He said, because I don't fall for the bait, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, and then yeah, like okay, like put a little bit of like rhythm into.
Okay. Can we pass it over? This.
I felt bored. He was cool. Like he seems like a nice guy, but I just kind of zoned out a little.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. Anyone else, ladies? One more. Raise your hand. Okay.
I liked that he kind of was authentic and he rated himself well. He just kind of seemed like there was something there, but I'd like to see more personality come out.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you know what? What time it is? It's actually the guys' turn to rate y'all, ladies. So y'all, it'll be our next segment. So we're gonna go ahead and have the guys come in. Okay. Thank you so much. All right.
So be able to discuss about it. Let's go.
Hi guys, I'm Kaya, and I am 28 years old. So you guys figure out where I'm from because I've moved quite a bit. And I would say I'm a catch because I'm the whole package. The brains.
Dance move.
Oh.
Would you rate yourself?
I would say
I think she's a miss. I thought
Type.
I'll have to figure.
Good. And what makes you a catch?
My name's Victoria. I'm Houston, Texas. What makes me a catch? A businesswoman. Have my own community. Woman. A 10.
Your dance move.
Dance.
Yeah, she's definitely cute. Great personality. I love that she's smart. Looks one close to my height and age. Cute.
Yeah, cute. It seemed like she appreciated that she was a businesswoman and she had nice lips, nice eyes.
Good-looking face and not kind of a super cute skin. 10. When it comes to physique or not, that would
I think she's beautiful. I mean, she did from just
Perfect. Age. What makes you a catch?
My name is Rain, like the precipitation from the sky, Austin, Texas. I think I'm a great catch because I'm very design company. Version of myself. I'm learning. I just love to do with me as well. Yeah.
What would you rate yourself?
I'm gonna go with a solid 8 because it's humble yet.
And what's your favorite dance move?
I'm not gonna. Man, them pants wasn't it, and I did them dance moves. Man,
No, you got.
chill. I mean, type either.
Love the honesty.
You can beautiful, nice hair. Yeah.
It,
Think Zeke.
You think I know my type?
not your type.
I don't. I mean,
Your type.
might, but
So you contestant. And
Emma. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I'm a catch because I take good care of lift, and I also 7. I'm just gonna be silly with this one, okay?
based on look,
Beautiful eyes, beautiful, and a relationship with, yet in her body, and aware, can in the moment to cues and kind of the perception of what's occurring. I saw her looking at the camera, connecting with us, and
of course.
Yeah, and her hair, outfit, I like the shoes. So blonde hair, stick, pink. That's all, folks. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I agree. She's great.
Contestant.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Well, I'd like to hear your name, your age.
My name's Tyvee. I'm from Stowe, Vermont. What makes me a catch is I think that I use in a modern dating scene. 8, 10.
And your dance move.
she brings the energy to the table. She's all right.
So possible deeper than. Just I can't see much deeper than that.
What we find.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. No, yeah, I would say I do. I like.
No.
The shoes are cool. Go to the so there's certain things you can't change. So
I would love to know your name. What makes you a catch?
I'm 34. I'm from Los Playful. I love the right man. An 8.
What's your favorite date?
32. No.
Yeah,
She had traditional values as far as she type, but so taller and athletic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that I don't know how to do. In fact, directed to men, into men, how do. But
yeah.
So subjective style, my taste, and physique, definitely.
Mismatch.
You
with Paul.
Yeah. A woman's mindset because to it, and I hear you accommodate their looks. Like women can judge us on for them. I'm sure it was easier for them, but judging her based off from the initial image of it she's not my type. I wouldn't say that I'm judging that based off my assessment of who she is.
So you find that you're paying attention.
Yeah, I'm saying like I can't woman and judge her solely off of like I could maybe. She seems cool and like objectively in a certain context, but because she's just not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'd like Sacramento. And
what makes you a catch?
What makes me a catch? I can do all the typical one, smart, but truly I'm a team player. Really
Would you rate yourself?
I'd say between an 8 and a 9.
Beautiful. And
I was hoping to see the dance move to me and her. I want
a little too old for your taste.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I think that she came talking about also Kentucky along. So also, but yeah.
No, yeah, I like Logan. She's probably pretty. She has beautiful hair, style. Yeah,
So
29.
what makes you?
What makes me a catch? I'm a mixture of old school. So I love spontaneous adventure, doing the old school or people's moments about. I lived abroad in Germany after high school. I took a year abroad and stayed in a very small village. I would say that I did art travel events. And also a little bit entrepreneurial. I like to try different projects and also self 0.5 because I am with myself. So that's not for growth. Yeah.
And show us your favorite dance move.
Does anyone have music?
I like her.
What'd you like about her?
Yeah. Body, 10. Skin, goodness gracious. Smoothest, we'll leave it.
Yeah, Helen's really good looking.
Like probably a good for me. And she.
Yeah, in shape. So yeah, I'd say.
So
My name is Kay, 7. What makes me a catch is that no matter fun and going on adventures.
I was like energy up to series, so it's like a maybe.
beautiful. Go to
Kay's great. She's
about her.
not stuff. She's I think the
The height. Ooh, I'm going to say going from the cheek.
Yeah, I liked Kay. A miss.
Issue.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to what I see as a match in my type.
Austin, Texas person that cares about what to say. I'm big on, so do you, and I'm gonna do me. And I'm big on adventure, travel. I'm a very sensual being too, and I'm also very versatile. So like I'll have a really good conversation with your grandma, and
Move.
volunteer.
Maybe that.
You don't have to get up. But who has some? Go ahead.
Dance. I'm feisty woman. I could tell. She damn.
Thick. Yeah, I think she's cool. Me, 100. I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, she was feeding me. Little Debbie doing a lap dance. That second one, she was in the West Texas, naked. Whatever I was go. Goodness, yeah. That thing.
That's for this.
I did that. I can be good for you too. So like, you know how she got that guy.
All right, and we have one more gentleman, ladies, for y'all to judge. Go ahead and bring him in. Did y'all say bring him in? All right, okay, have a seat right here. All right, if you would, for the ladies, just tell us your name, your age, and where you're from, and what makes you a great catch.
Yeah, my name is Eric. I am 30 years old. I am from Brenham, Texas, which is the country. So despite how I look, country boy at heart. And what makes me a great catch? I like to keep things exciting. Like a little healthy amount of toxicity is kind of the vibe I like to keep. I'm being honest.
I appreciate it, don't we? And what would you rate yourself, 1 to 10?
10.
Okay, and do you have any dance moves you'd like to share with the ladies?
Yeah. Come here.
Okay.
Hey, so I'm gonna hit this real quick. I'm gonna hit this real quick.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, y'all ladies, give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Who wants to comment? Raise your hand.
Let's get that door shut. Okay. The style points were there. Was not expecting him to be a country boy. I would say he's a 9. I'll give him a 9. That jacket was definitely living.
I would say the fashion. I loved it. Super cute. He knows what he wants. Little toxicity in his life. And yeah, that's all.
I'm gonna say what they said. I mean, I loved his style. His jacket was on point, and his confidence was great.
I dig that he brought a lot of personality to it, and the style matched his personality. I felt like he was very authentic, and yeah, seems like a lot of fun.
You want to give it to the end?
I thought he seemed really cool. He seemed like very fashion type of guy, like fashion like. And he had a very artsy vibe. So I also kind of like the artsy vibes a little bit there because I'm kind of artsy. So that was cool.
I think he's secretly like a sweet boy.
I do.
As a reformed crazy girl, that someone saying they're a little toxic, I'm like, ooh, exciting. I want to know more. I think that can be a little sexy vibe.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, and cut. All right, y'all stay where y'all's at. We're going to bring the gentleman.
All right, guys. we're
God,
recording.
you're so loud.
Can you lower?
Can you lower your voice, God?
God is meant to be loud. That's why he's God. All right, we're recording. 3,
Okay.
2.
Oh, Joe, isn't this amazing? Oh my God, y'all guys. Now it's time for the best part. It's of the show where we dig in deep. And I just want to welcome y'all to the town hall part of Match Value. This is where we kind of dig into some sensitive subjects and kind of really get into the meat of things, really talk about it like from our heart and really discover each other's values.
So this is where we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. We're
Yeah.
going to dive deep into more pressing topics, stuff that matters to dating. Don't be afraid to throw a curveball. Share your real thoughts, share your true feelings. Nothing is too crazy because this is where we get authentic. This is where you got to have the guts to stand out because if you stand out, you're going to find the person who's really right for you.
He speaks the truth. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you ask the first questions, and I'll float around in the crowd. And and again, like, raise your hand if this question feels like your vibe. So go ahead.
So the first question is what defines a healthy relationship?
Anyone, please raise your hand if that's something you feel called to. Okay, yes.
We have one
And-
over here.
All right, go ahead and sit down.
I would say what defines a healthy relationship is the ability to be flexible, to have communication, to hear each other, and to also stand in your own core values. I think those are very important things when it comes to having a healthy relationship and having a growth mindset, having the ability to admit like you're wrong at times and also that you have to hear someone out as well.
100%. I completely agree about it being a team. It's how do we support each other in winning? And there's three parts to a relationship. There's me, you, and the relationship. So it's how do we both win together rather than it being a competition. And of course, knowing our values, our vision, where we're going, what we want, and the more king and queen, style. How do we build a better kingdom for our people? How do we serve? How do we make a better world?
Absolutely agree with that. It's you and I against the world rather than you and I against each other.
Yeah. Clear communication, emotional intelligence, taking accountability, right? And then also I feel like it's really important for the dynamic for the men to know how to lead and say, hey, I got this. I'm going to lead out of my heart because I care. And I want to. I want to support us in having a better life. And I'm going to take in what I know you want and see how to create that together. And then the woman being willing to let the man lead, but there's always the veto of the woman to say no. So really, the woman's allowing the man to lead, but actually in charge because the man wants to serve her and their family and their vision together.
I absolutely agree with that. There's a space where the man is to lead and the woman is to trust. And of course, the woman also has a say-so, and that's meant for a specific space, like behind closed doors. Like, they're going to root their man on, but they're also going to let them know when they're wrong as well.
Thank you. All right, so we have another question. This one's a little bit heated up. We're going to turn up the heat slowly for you guys. Is modern dating too superficial?
Anyone want this question? Raise your hand. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
You can go first if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's not superficial. I think, if anything, it's not superficial enough. What I mean by that is traditionally, marriage was a transaction. It was a financial contract between families. And so, in a way, it was quote unquote, now we would see that very superficial. And if I would say, hey, let's do a contract, let's agree on you give me this and I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We would be like, oh my God, you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so I think we've actually moved away from that, and now we're seeking potentially an entire village in a person. And that's where I mean, that might be too much. I think we're asking too much from a partner now.
Got you. Yeah. I mean, I would say I guess it depends on your cultural background and what you look for in a partner, whether you're being, super judgmental, trying to, how do I put this into better words?
You're safe here.
Got me flustered.
That's why I asked you. Are you sure you want me to go first?
Might need you to repeat. I agree. We're moving away from that. We're looking for, much more detail.
Would you like to hold hands?
Honestly,
Yeah.
yes. I don't think. Oh my God. I think we're moving away from traditional values, which you can agree with or not agree with, which is, I think, creates more of an open mind and more superficiality. I don't know if you agree. Do you agree with superficiality?
I mean, I'm allowing it to be called superficiality. What I think we've moved away from.
What do you think I guess what would be it in your definition?
I think right now we're calling superficiality, like based on looks, based on
Mhm.
money, based on these factors. Which that was important for a long time,
Mhm.
and now we're pretending like it wasn't,
Yeah.
and then now we're like. So I'm just struggling with all of that.
That makes sense.
But I think it's up to a person, really. Like, if
Mhm.
those are your values, that those are your values, and just
Mhm.
owning them. But if you want something more, then own that.
Yeah. Really be open
So I
about
mean,
your.
it's
you know,
whatever you personally want.
Exactly. Yeah. Your preference, like it becomes more, I guess, open-minded. Certain things don't matter as much in the modern world, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I think modern dating is actually really confused on what current values are, right? Like, I think we're in a really interesting time that traditional values and whatever the new values are haven't really meshed. And so I think a lot of people go into dating with a lot of inconsistency because asking what you want is a really hard question to answer for a lot of people. Like, truly, they think they know, oh, I want a partner, I want to be with someone. But if you actually start saying, well, what does that mean to you? That's a much harder question for them to answer, right?
Come take the seat. Who would like to speak with her about this?
Come on down.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll finish my point quickly, and then please have your go. And I think we're after COVID, after a lot of things. There's a lot of me culture at the moment, and it's not a bad thing to be focused on prioritizing yourself and being the best version of yourself you can. But that does play into why I think a lot of people struggle with finding a partner, because they're not really sure what that means and how it fits in with their current cultural values.
So the same question about, like, is it superficial for dating? So I would think when the apps came out and you just are presented with unlimited choice, you're all of a sudden being like, oh, hey, there's 1,000 people that I could select, and you can find any one thing that's wrong with a person and say, that's not good enough. Let's see what else is out there. And even if somebody is pretty much perfect, you're like, but what if there's something better? And there's also requirements where you only have 5 or 6 things that you can filter by. You can say height, eye color, maybe occupation, and if that's all you go on to say yes or no, like, that is extremely superficial. And we didn't used to do that. You used to be in a small town where you only had maybe 100 people to choose from, and you had to get to know them, and you had a reputation to uphold. If you acted poorly, that reflected on you as a person, where now these cities are so big that you can do whatever you want and kind of escape into the ether and not have your reputation follow you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, who hasn't been ghosted, right? And it's because it's easy. Like, you don't have any sort of repercussions from just not talking to someone anymore, where if it was a smaller town, that would always be like, people would know that about you. I'd be like, oh, that guy's kind of a jerk. Like, he just like left them on red.
So I know, at least for me, I hope that I find somebody that also cares about their reputation as much as I do.
Good point.
Wow, you guys. I think y'all are answering more questions than we started with. So, like, this is some beautiful things that we're bringing up. Like, one, like, the superficiality has to do with the cultural changes and maybe even our value changes. And two, like, how has technology harmed or helped that situation? Does anyone want to take that question? How has technology harmed or helped our dating and mating rituals? Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Would you like to?
Hello, Blake.
How's it going, Rain? So I think something that the internet has done to dating is that I think at one point in time when we were in smaller villages and we were dating just the people that were around us, you were limited in selection. And for dating and romance, it created where there was one status quo that was okay, and everyone kind of needed to fit within that status quo to find a partner. For marriage to be, like, if marriage is transactional. I think with the internet, now there's so many different pockets and niche different cultures that are now just readily available and visible to everyone. So that instead of just a very traditional conservative relationship, which is, like the nuclear family, for example, now we have so many different people of different, like, creeds and cultures and decisions on how they want to date coming up in being in the spotlight almost equally as much as the nuclear family. People that want open relationships or whatever that may be.
Like more differences, like more options available rather than like the select limited options that maybe you'd be used to having if you were in a small town. I used to be a big online dater, I'll say. I was big into the apps, and I noticed that when I would get like a notification or like someone liked you or someone messaged you, like serotonin in my brain would just like flood, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And the way like my mood would switch depending on whether I got a match or if someone was messaging me back or ghosting me or not responding, like would really affect my mood throughout the day. So I stopped completely, like cold turkey. I deleted everything, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I talked to my friend, she's a neuroscientist, and she was telling me that they trained mice, and they found that mice are more like addicted to something when the reward is not when the reward is delayed, essentially. And I think that's what dating apps do. The reward can be delayed. Oftentimes you're swipe, 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 match. And then your brain gets addicted to that chemically. So I think what it does is it kind of, in my opinion, it makes it more superficial. The connections don't seem as deep, and it's more of like an echo chamber for validation at the end of the day.
Well, you're seeking validation. You're putting yourself out there for literally a sea of people that you've never met.
Right.
Like people that you may never even potentially meet.
Yeah.
Usually based off looks first,
It's-
I think,
I think
generally.
it's looks, yeah.
Which is okay. I think it's okay to want to be attracted to your partner, but it doesn't really tell a full story. And oftentimes you're matched or presented in front of people that you might have absolutely nothing in common with. I feel like prior, you would meet someone through a mutual club or church or through something that you were interested in mutually, and then that might be that bonding point.
Right.
Now you can match with someone based off of nothing. You could have nothing in common with them,
You can
just
match
find each other
of
attractive.
attractive, essentially. And it's like you might not even vibe with that person or be able to like have a conversation and feel relaxed. Like over text or over an app, it could be a totally different vibe than what it's like in person talking to someone. I experienced that so many times when I was on like Hinge and Bumble. I was so tired of it. I was like, I'd rather just meet someone in person. I think I'm a great person to talk to in person. I'd rather just put myself out there.
So do you think that's a worse thing?
To put myself out there?
No, the
Oh.
internet has like changed dating in
Yeah,
this way.
unfortunately I do. I'm kind of, kind of like a boomer when I think about that. I'm like, gosh darn, like these kids with their dating apps, all my friends on dating apps. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I do. I think it's actually
Okay.
an okay thing.
Okay.
I think that it like moves us in a direction where, again, like people who don't necessarily fit into traditional values in a relationship now have an ability to find someone that they find right for them, as opposed to like having to be nuclear family or
That's
having
fair.
to be,
That's a very fair observation. I respect it. But personally, hey, dating apps, don't like them.
silly fair.
So kind
Hello.
of just to continue on with what she was saying about dating apps, I found myself disconnected. I felt like it was such a chore to respond to these messages. Like I got a lot of swipes and that was cool. Like of course, oh yay, people like me. But then I didn't really want to engage with them on the app. I'm more of like an in-person person. And I found myself screenshotting and putting them into ChatGPT and having ChatGPT respond. And then I realized I needed to get off the apps, and now I'm finding that meeting in person, you're more likely to be able to like feel someone's pheromones or like their personality and who they are, and you might find yourself someone like that you wouldn't typically be attracted to based off of looks. Their personality actually really stands out.
Yeah, I think I think preferentially I would meet someone in person. I think that like the option exists for other people to be online is like an okay thing. But I do agree that like it's also taxing. I mean, just being online in general as a lifestyle is like incredibly taxing with work, like being able to be just like contacted at any point of the day. So I think with dating, it's even more so, especially when you think that someone else on the other line's validation is at stake, right? Like you might feel that like if you don't respond to this person, you might be letting them down or hurting them, or you might not care at all, which is fine either way. But like I do understand.
We had some hands raised. Go ahead. Y'all guys are doing so good. Oh my God. Y'all are wise beyond your years.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, South Park did the episode on ChatGPT responding to girlfriends. So, like, a fear I would have is, like, everyone is just going to start dating ChatGPT if, like, everyone's putting those prompts in and saying the same thing. So we're not even going to communicate anymore.
I will say I have like had ChatGPT refine some of my speeches. I've done a lot of speeches on stage, and so I feel like ChatGPT does have my my tone now. But I definitely realized at that point, if I was that disconnected, I needed to get off of the apps and get in person.
Yeah, I would always wonder. I'm like, is this really her, or is this just like AI responding to me now?
Yeah, computers are taking over the world.
Thank you both. Thank you both. We're going to go a little spicier now. Turn up the heat. I'm really curious what your thoughts on monogamy versus polyamory are. So your hand went right up. Your hand went right up. I'm going to go with you.
All right. So this is an interesting one because I actually lean slightly non-monogamous. I would say so my thoughts on there's nothing wrong with monogamy. Part of me feels like everyone's kind of leans differently. It's kind of like a scale. It's kind of like the Kinsey scale if you've heard of it. Everybody's just a little bit different, but for me at least, I feel like love comes in many different forms, and I do want a primary partner. I do want someone who's gonna be a long-term partner for me. But at the same time, I would like a partner who lets me explore other connections as well. So yeah, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, my thoughts, I think there's no other thing than monogamy for me. I'm kind of old school in my beliefs. I have a faith in a creator, and I meet a girl, she's saving herself for marriage. You hit her with the, like, God knows in our hearts we're already married. It's something like, it's like it's a feeling. And then I've had women who from the whole other side of the spectrum where they're saying they're polyamorous and only hardcore non-monogamy, and yet when they fall for me, there's not another person that they're interested in, and holding on to those beliefs and saying that and stating that and being that way doesn't work out for them because they're in love or they're monogamous in their hearts. And I think that that's what it means. There's a difference between monogamy for me in your heart and in your mind and your spirit, and socially enforced monogamy, which I feel like is a totally different subject. And when you get into contracts or that kind of stuff, like, I don't know much about that, but I do know that I've seen people be in love and not have eyes for anyone else, and that for me that's what I think monogamy is. And I think anything outside of that, I don't think it's really counts.
I mean, that's beautiful, and that's completely valid too. Yeah, I just say for me personally, I'm not sure if I ever see me just being solely in love with one person. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if I ever see myself just pursuing one connection at once. I feel like it's possible to have one primary partner and then also just other connections as well. But at the same time, I'm open. Who knows? It could change. It's constantly changing for me. I feel like I could potentially be solely monogamous. I'm still figuring it out, but for now, I'd say I lean slightly non-monogamous.
Well, thank you. We got some differing opinions here. Trentimus. Yeah. Yes, Paul. Paul. There you go.
Okay, so I believe that most of what we do instinctually is based on what has helped our ancestors to survive and reproduce in the past. And there are reproductive advantages to monogamy, and there's reproductive advantages to non-monogamy. I don't have a whole lot of moral judgment about any of them. I don't like the idea of hurting people's feelings because I'm not a sociopath. When someone is a sociopath and is totally fine with hurting a bunch of other people's feelings, then we come back to the point of when we lived in small communities and the community would punish someone for just completely upending the social order and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake and just ruining people's lives. So as far as monogamy goes, for the men's side, there's a reproductive advantage to having as many children as possible with as many women as possible. And there's also a reproductive advantage to focusing on your small number of children with your partner who helps you raise the children, and then you have a small number of children, but more of them are likely to survive. From the women's perspective, there's reproductive advantage to having a child with her man, her husband, and through the promise of monogamy, making sure that he will be invested in those children by knowing that they're his genetic offspring. And there's reproductive advantage to having the, shall we say, the hottest sons you possibly can with the hottest men that you possibly can, because then you potentially have a strong and attractive son or daughter who has a greater chance of surviving and putting genes into the next generation. I think many of us are a mix of those two, and sometimes a conflicted mix of those two compulsions. I've known men and women who just have no eyes for anyone but their partner. They wouldn't even think of it. They never look either way. I also know people who are absolutely tempted, but they see it as a personal challenge to stay with their person because that was the promise they made, and they know that it would be devastating and also potentially a complete upending of their entire lives and their entire homeostasis if they were to just throw that away for a fling or something like that. And we see it play out too, because there's something like 1 in 10 children, they've done studies on this, something like 1 in 10 children are being raised in a household with the father that is not their biological father. So this is happening, and there's something like a 1 in 4 rate of cheating, especially on the men's side, a little lower on the women's side, but it's still pretty common. So we do have this instinct to cheat. Some of us do. Some of us have it more than others. I am probably more on the temptation side. I'm probably going to face outside temptation. And so then it just becomes a question of what promise am I being asked to make and whether or not I think that the reward is worth it. And that's not going to be everyone. There's going to be some people, but it's going to be hard to tell. You got to really be able to have X-ray spectacles into your man's soul to know if this guy is just not a cheater, because people can surprise you.
Well, first, thank you for sharing that. I feel it sounds like with non-monogamy, it's like an agreement with your partner. So you're saying like it is okay. So there's no infidelity in that. As someone who used to lean non-monogamous, I think there's a small part of that that is more emotional unavailability than actual like wanting to be with your partner. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying about that? Yeah. But yeah, you can't break a promise that you were never asked to make. The only thing I'll say about that, and it's a, oh, we're waiting, I'm sorry. One of the perils I see of polyamory is that you can't just edit out jealousy. Jealousy is a natural emotion. Hey.
In the air of caution, I'm so sorry if this offends anyone, but I do not believe in polyamory at all, nor do I believe in non-monogamy. I think it is a cultural shift that has like absolutely, really, like it puts a bad taste in my mouth. I know that some people will say it's not cheating, but I think it's innately wrong. I don't think we as humans were meant to be with multiple partners. I think we are meant to mate for life or to be together for life. I think that the desire to have multiple partners, especially if you're supposed to be in a committed relationship, is really like, it's like sexual deviance. I don't know. It's weird. It's not, to me, I would never be in tune with that. Absolutely not. I just think it's wrong. And I think that it isn't an excuse to cheat. I think it means your pleasure comes first. I don't think that if you're in a fair, equal partnership and you're truly in love with someone, then there should be anyone outside of that. I think it's a recipe for disaster. And that's my opinion.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, so I believe from what I've studied as far as working with men and psychology and working with my own psychology that I agree. And when I was avoidant attachment style before, anxious or avoidant, I'd always have 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the relationship. And then I'd try and create I've been in polyamorous relationship. Now, not everyone. I'd say 95% of the people, what I've found, are actually just afraid of really diving deep and committing to someone and being vulnerable emotionally and being vulnerable in the relationship to where they could be hurt. That person could leave and actually prove their greatest fear, which is they're not good enough or unlovable. And that was mine and what I've noticed across the board. Not everyone, this is actually natural for, but rarely. And so I'll end with it. My last relationship was with a beautiful, incredible woman. It's very secure attachment style. And she was so committed to me, just
I'm in, all in from the beginning. The second date, I'm here and I'm in until we ride this out. And that felt so safe to me, that I was that loved and that seen and that cared for and that worthy and worth her saying I'm here no matter what. Now, not necessarily no matter what, but in the way of I'm here until whatever it takes. So that helped me to feel safe enough in the magic of monogamy that I'll never go back. I'll never want anything but just my partner and what we build together and the life we create. And to me, that's a way that we're meant to be as humans.
Definitely, I agree.
Thank you. We're going to take one more pair. You get to go this time. No take backsies.
What's up? I'd like to dance. Yeah. So yeah, monogamy, I'm gonna say if you're in a relationship with someone and your girl's asking you to explore their connections, like we all know what that means. Probably not doing something right, so you're honestly not the way to go, in my opinion. I'd say be polyamorous, find someone else at that point, you know?
I think if you've ever loved more than one person, you're polyamorous, because polyamorous means to love more than one. Now, if you want to choose to love one at a time and you want to label that monogamy, go ahead. But by nature, as if you look at any other relationships we have outside of romance, we're loving multiple friends, we're loving multiple children, we're loving multiple dogs and animals and fur babies, and we're loving multiple grandparents, and we're loving multiple parents. And then we go to romance and it's like, oh no. I can only love one at a time. And I think that's fine. I think it's a choice. But I do think naturally we're lovers. But I think some of the issues that I've heard, and I could talk about this so much. So I think the problem with this is that we're treating it like we're doing like, oh, I'm an extrovert, I'm an introvert, like this is how I exist all the time. And I don't think that's necessary. So all I know is that naturally I'm open to loving multiple people. Now, I don't know what I want from you and from this until we get into it. So I'm not going to come with my prerequisites of, oh, just so you know, I have to have 3 boyfriends at the same time. Like, I don't, that's weird. I think that part's weird, right? But so I think that's why we're getting a little bit into this duality, this like fight, this like extremes, because we're trying to identify it as like a principle rather than waiting until we meet someone and deciding what's right for this connection.
Yeah, I think it comes from like the contract, how you were saying earlier about contracts. Like if you expect someone to like give you stuff and put in effort for you, then you wouldn't really want them doing stuff, you know, like.
Thanks, bud. Okay, curious to know what comes to mind when I ask the question, or when I bring up the principle of what you focus on expands, right? In regards to relationships, do we get one really high quality relationship or several watered down relationships if we chose the polyamorous approach?
Why are those my options? So I think that's the
Don't know.
mistake. And even from like some of the people that were speaking, it's like, oh, because I'm in multiple relationships, that means it's shallow, that means I'm not going into depth, that means I'm not having rupture and repair conversations, that means I'm not all in, and none of that's true.
How do you know?
For me, because based on my values, I want a depth of conversation, I want commitment, I want all this. That doesn't mean that just because I'm engaging with multiple people deeply or committed, if that's the right relationship with that. I'm not saying I want all of them to be that. But it's a choice. It's my own personal choice how I want to relate. And if I'm choosing not to have shallow relationships, then that's my choice.
Yeah, I was just curious. That's it. I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sit back down. I'm nothing against what you said. I want to expand and get into that because
Let's do it.
I kind of fall somewhere between both of you in that I've seen polyamorous relationships done well. I've also seen them done disastrously. And the hard part for myself has always been that understanding how you have enough time to prioritize multiple people, especially if you have other things going on in your lives, as we all do. And now, granted, you might argue that just like our friends, we're able to prioritize friends, but like most people say they have a best friend. So similarly, I've always struggled with that aspect, which I think is what you're speaking to, which is how do I have enough time to commit to all of those relationships equally? And I know there's often a primary partner, and so that's a more nuanced question. But that's always been the sticking point in my mind. Also communication, right? And this is where I say when I've seen friends who've been in polyamorous relationships go very badly, it's always a lack of communication. And that's really hard to do right. And I think it takes a level of emotional maturity that realistically most of us aren't there yet. Especially if you're early in your dating life, like that's, you have to be so secure, as you spoke to the attachment styles, to be able to have those kinds of conversations without allowing the jealousy to overtake.
Fair. Yeah. I see both sides of the story here. There's no doubt. Everything that anybody ever says about any of this stuff can make sense. For me personally, I don't even want to date more than one person at a time, simply because I have this belief that I want to go all in on that. And I could be wrong on that mindset, right? And it also begs the question, you said that there are successful polyamorous relationships and there are not. What are the variables there? Is it the people involved in it, or is it something else that we just don't know yet? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we all speak to the different things that attract us in our relationships, it's always about what is important to those two people. So in my mind, this can tie us back to our first question of this session, which is about what's a healthy relationship. So to me, seeing a successful polyamorous relationship is one that has that level of honesty and communication. And essentially where you're a team where you're not going in expecting one person to want more than you, it's how do we both succeed? Right. And I was like, that's a really difficult thing to do. And, kudos to those who can do it. I don't know that I would have that level of emotional maturity yet. And so I know that's not the relationships that I seek. But I've been lucky to have seen it. It's kind of wild when you do.
Sure.
This is definitely a topic we are all interested in. The next question I'm going to ask you guys is, what is the biggest red flag, or what is the biggest ick? And who wants to take this one? Okay, we have one person right here. Take it?
Yeah, for sure. No
Oh,
volunteers?
great.
Okay, awesome. Biggest red flag, biggest ick, okay? Drifting.
Elaborate.
Yeah. What I'm attracted to is somebody that has direction and a vision for their life, that can take control. Because if one person's leading the entire time for every single thing, I think it's a misbalance, and I think it's exhausting. So to have somebody that can support themselves, think for themselves, is super important for me.
I agree with you on that. I think it's like a dynamic between two people. I like the term power couple, in terms of like just like you're in kind of a dance together. You're going through life together. You're making decisions together, and you each have strengths, and you can bring those strengths to the table and help each other with each other's weaknesses as well, like a team. Biggest red flag for me would be, I guess, that creating that distance, like putting that wedge between you, like not being emotionally open and available, or putting on like a front where you come off as a certain way, but then you're unable to actually open up and communicate with your partner, because that leaves your partner so confused, and then can also lead to a lot of challenges with them being able to be themselves.
How long are you willing to go to try to crack that egg?
That is a great question. I think that really depends on the partner. Like, how long have we been in this? How has the relationship been going before that? If it's something really new and he is like all in, and then all of a sudden just shuts down, I don't know. It really depends. It's very nuanced when I'm going to call that. Or, I probably would try to talk to him first, definitely put in an effort, give him an opportunity, and be warm and be open. However, if that's shut down, it's really hard to like permeate something that's already.
What does it do to you if you can't connect on that level?
I mean, it's pretty destructive. I mean, I take it, I get hurt by that, but then I have to remember, this isn't a me thing. This may be where he's at with his emotional maturity, or maybe I'm the one shutting down. I have to look at myself too.
So yeah, it can be pretty painful though, especially if you've invested a lot of time into someone and you thought it was going one way and then it's not.
Well said, Kay.
Thank you. Have you spoken already?
Hey guys.
Would you like to go first?
You can go first.
So the question was red flags and icks, right? To me, I think icks are more superficial in a sense that, like, for example, my ick is like I don't like somebody that lives on the internet where their life is on the web and there's not any sort of like, I don't know, essence to who they are. It's like a real person. But red flags, I think the biggest red flag I always try to identify is like if someone has no red flags, because that's not a real person. You know, to me, everyone has red flags, and you have to have like things that you're not going to be able to mesh perfectly with somebody. So those red flags, I think the earlier you identify them, that's the opportunity for you to be like, all right, is this something I'm going to be able to put up with, deal with? Can I change that? Whatever. I think having red flags is very important to be able to identify early on in a relationship, because I've dated some people where there's no red flags and I'm like, what's wrong with this person? And 6 months down, you realize like, oh, they've been hiding all of this. There's not, you know what I mean? They've been trying to put on this facade where once it cracks, now 6 months in, you're figuring that out later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I think like you have to have like real conversations, you know, really ask good questions, and like really sit down at dates. Like don't just have it like eating food and then just, I know the first date, okay, you know, the saying goes is that you have more like lighter topics, but eventually you need to get to the harder topics, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how is it sustainable in the end? So yeah, I definitely agree there. I think you also need to do some soul searching as well. I think that's kind of a red flag for me. Is like, especially for a guy, like I think you need to have a plan.
Yeah.
I think you need to have direction and know what you want. I think passiveness is really an ick for me. As far as like, okay, you ask a guy a question, you know, where's your favorite place to travel to? Well, what do you mean by that? You know, or I'm like, okay. You know, like what do you see for your life in like a year from now? I don't know, like, you know, I love sports like football. I'm like, okay, well, is that it? You know? So yeah, just like doing the soul searching, having real conversations, and really experiencing life together, because yeah, I think you can, in this world, like, especially in America and everything, there's high level of like everything that we said before, like technology, superficiality, and everything like that. But you have to get away from that, and the only one who can make you happy is you at the end of the day. Like, you only know what you really need. So you have to address what exactly do you need from a relationship? What exactly makes you feel safe? And be okay saying it, because like, okay, you say it out loud, and then, okay, maybe it's something that the person is willing to work on. And, you know, you end up growing in that direction. But yeah, there has to be a level of growth, and like it's gonna be painful a little bit.
Yeah.
You're gonna trigger each other a little bit, but you know, life is about growth, and life is about like, okay, it's gonna be hard moments. You know.
Yeah. Wait, can I ask you?
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
I think a lot of times when we get into like dating, we're always trying to identify icks for other people and red flags for others. But I think some people aren't self-aware enough to identify their own red flags. Do you think you have that? I don't want to say you lack that self-awareness, but do you kind of are able to be aware of your own like things that might be icks, things that might? Because I know for me, I send too many emojis, and I know that sometimes that's
not a red flag.
Sometimes the little winky face too many times. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be aware of your own red flags. You know, like everyone has them too. Like, okay, you know, what's toxic. You know, and like, I think in a relationship you're dealing with like the parts that, for example, if someone's a workaholic, you know, are you okay with that? You know, there's going to be parts where like, oh my gosh, like it's terrible for one person, but for another person, they're willing to deal with it.
Yeah, it's a green flag, because they're like, oh, now I got time away from you.
Yeah, now I get time away. I get space. Okay, I can work with that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have red flags. You know, I kind of take a while to get ready.
Oh yeah.
I think that was one question that we asked before. Like, I'm a little bit late sometimes.
All right, I
think we have one more question to ask, and then we're going to go ahead and diverge into our discussions with the men only and the women only and kind of talk about this. You know, we've got to know about each other a little bit more, not just based on looks, but actually really get to find out who that person is, what their values are. Do their values line up? Maybe you thought that person was super hot, but then like later on the road, you found out like, I'm not polyamorous or I'm not monogamous, whatever it is. And I'm just really impressed, by the way, guys. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Y'all are some very self-aware people, and I think that, but I do hope y'all realize that y'all are sharing what the collective is going through currently, right? Like, we are all going through all of these same problems. I'm sure the audience can identify with what every one of y'all have to say. So thank y'all so much for that. And so the final question is, and whoever wants to take this one is, do you believe in love? All right. And which one of you have spoken? Y'all decide. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, wait.
I think, yes. I think that also you can love more than one person. I think that you can also love somebody for a small amount of time and then not love them anymore. I do believe in love and loving other people too.
I grew up with a mother pretty much. You know, I had a stepdad in my life. But yes, I believe in love. I think you have to want it. You know, most people are trying to find it, and you really have to want it. So.
And we have a little bit of time. We're going to converge for 5 minutes. The girls are going to talk about the guys, and then y'all are going to come back. Y'all are going to talk about the girls, and then we're going to have our matches. Who did we get to? I'm going to do that here in just a second. What's going on?
The mic.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Let me. What? Okay, we're going to come back, you guys, and we are going to let the ladies decide and talk a little bit about what they heard from y'all, and vice versa. And then the final finale is, who do I match with who? Who vibes with who? And what our rate was. What was our score? Okay, thank you so much, and we'll be right back. And we're going to act like everything we're just picking up from yesterday, and I will ask you know who you are and exactly. Okay. All right. So, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this has been such an interesting, fascinating debate. I am so proud of all the awareness that I saw demonstrated, and I'm just really, really interested in what y'all think about 50-50. So, you know, we are living in changing times, but what happens when the guy doesn't want to pay for the date and he doesn't want to be a provider and doesn't want to go the traditional route? Can I get a raise of hands who wants to talk about this? Okay, yes. Go ahead, Blake. This time we have you mic'd up.
Okay.
So let's hear what they have to say.
So, do you want to go first?
No, you can.
Okay, of course. So I think that 50-50 might be a very exact percentage, but I do think to each their own, or to the best of their capabilities. I think the idea that someone's time is more valuable than another person's time immediately off the bat without knowing them is folly. I don't think that you can just say oh, I am entitled to something without knowing that person or knowing why you're entitled to it. Maybe in the future, if you wanted to go and I felt the need to pay for someone else's date, that could make sense. That I know that time's worth it, but I think right off the bat, I don't know you, you don't know me. Why not split it 50-50?
I think that in dating there's expectations, or in relationship building there's expectations, and as women we're expected to present ourselves attractive. You need to have good hair, you need to have a good body, you need to look right. I think that men are supposed to be providers, and they're supposed to provide the money or the financial aspect of a relationship. So when you're on that first initial date, how else are you going to greet someone who would be your potential partner or your wife or the mother of your children? If you aren't willing to spend $20 on a date, then why would I want to have kids with you? Why would I want to invest in a relationship with you?
I wish dates were $20.
No, but you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. I think that it's more superficial for a man to be like, oh, well, you need to work or own, you need to deserve this money, than it is for women to expect that someone would want to treat them nice on
Does
a date.
anyone want to chime in on this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pass this mic around for a little bit. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree that men should like take charge and really own like being the provider and leader in the relationship. And I think that you should also get in the same page about like your values.
Women have only recently been able to own property, to hold jobs. I could go on to own bank accounts, to own property. So really the idea of having a man pay is saying, I recognize my privilege and power in our society. Allow me to do this small gesture.
Anyone on the man side? Okay, we're gonna go over here.
So, one of the most important things I've found for women is to feel safe, and in that it's for a man to lead, to protect, to provide. It's something that's biologically innate within a woman to desire from a man. It's really important for us to own that as men. Now, what my ideal is that I contribute at least 80% to my wife, to the relationship. I can do 100% if she wants to work and desires to work in art or whatever she desires that's a part of her, great. I'm more than supportive of that, but she doesn't have to in order for us to have our life.
Would you like to say something, Paul?
I acknowledge that women have been regressed in their ability to own property and earn compared to men for a long period of time. What the provider frame used to be was sort of a kind of masculine commission that I'm going to be a provider, and so the paying for the first date and all the dates really was, this is my commitment to be the provider in the relationship in an ecosystem where women were not at all expected to be the providers. Women are earning on par to men in many markets. There was a 2010 Time magazine study that showed that in the 150 biggest cities, women were actually out-earning men on average, in some cases quite a bit. In rural America and in older demographics, not so much. But my question is, whether or not that undermines the question that men are providers, but are we 50-50 partners in the relationship? Someone mentioned that men should be leaders. I wonder how that all plays in.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
What do I think? I think that it depends what kind of relationship you want to build. If you want to build a relationship where there's a deep level of commitment, there's traditional values, go right ahead. Personally, when I'm going for a long-term relationship, I pay for all the dates, and then as we get into the relationship, it gets more murky. But at first, I like to pay for all the dates. But if I'm going for friends with benefits, either 50-50 or if I just feel generous, then I'll do it.
Interesting. So, that's actually an indicator that maybe I am interested in you long term, where I know I want to invest in this person. So this is obviously a topic that we all need to discuss at greater lengths, but we have one more question, don't we? What is our next question?
We do have one more question. And this question is something that is more of a modern day question. It's a question that is at the forefront of a lot of people's minds, especially in the younger generation. But as we become more accepting of different sexual preferences, a lot of people have realized that they have sexual preferences that aren't completely straight or completely gay and more bisexual. And some people have opinions about dating somebody in a heterosexual relationship where the other partner is into different sexes. So I'm curious, we have the question of, would you be willing to date a partner who's bisexual? And who is curious or has a strong opinion about that? All right.
Thank you guys so much.
So Helen, would you date someone who is bisexual?
My answer would be no.
Why not?
Because I feel that for a man, and this is just my own view, because I grew up a little bit conservative, I feel that it's a guy's like tendency towards other men. Like, I mean, for both sides, I feel like it's more like they're just trying out things, and they're maybe like very liberal, like physically and intimacy side.
So you think it indicates values that don't align with you?
Basically, yeah.
Does any part of you worry that your man would leave you for another man?
I think in modern day, it's definitely possible, with kind of the way society's going, which is fine for other people, I have a friend who, I thought we were close and everything, and he asked me on a date, but then I, saw that he was also for the other team slightly, and then it makes me really think, like, I don't want competition on, like, two sides of the team, It's one thing to deal with, already be dealing with women, and then you have to be dealing with men as well.
Dealing with women and men, how? Like competition?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like infidelity goes, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he can date whoever he wants, and he can do whatever he wants.
I think this plays into the monogamy versus polyamory question in the sense that a lot of people nowadays especially have a really hard time imagining their partner being with someone else. And it's kind of a utopian vision where someone's only going to have eyes for you. Now, if you're lucky, then your partner only has eyes for you if that's something you want. But I think more people would do better acknowledging the reality that we're not perfect, we're going to be tempted, and we're going to have to compete for each other and show up for each other every day. And in fact, to kind of rest on our laurels and think, I got my man, I got my woman, I'm good, I'm just going to let myself go. I think that's even a little bit disrespectful.
Paul, what about you? Would you date a bisexual woman?
Well, in my experience, if I wouldn't date a bisexual woman, I would have a very, very small dating pool. I don't have a lot of data on this, believe it or not, but my impression is that bisexuality, or at least some level of bi-curiosity, is much more common on the women's side than on the men's side. I don't care to opine why that is, but yes, I would. There's actually there's polygamy and there's polyamory, but there's also something called polyandry, which is one man with kind of multiple women. Sometimes a harem of women usually have a primary, and sometimes you'll bring other girls in to be involved. And I see that appeal, especially if you're able to have, more women in your life without offending or threatening your partner. I think that it's a rare couple that can make that happen, but I see the appeal.
I see like
Make it stable.
I see like women. Okay, yeah, like women are a little bit more fluid and everything. But yeah, like for men, it's just a little bit different.
It's definitely a little bit different.
Yeah.
So Paul, I would say I disagree with you as far as dating a bisexual, but I also say that as someone who is bisexual. And that might be a little controversial, and it's because when I'm dating a man, I want a masculine man.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't strike me as masculine. And typically, somebody in that space, they're a little bit less than masculine, and that's just not my type. That's
You mean
not
a
what I'm
bisexual person?
A bisexual man.
Is a little bit less masculine? Okay.
Correct, yeah.
I respectfully have to disagree with you. I have dated a bisexual man before. I love a man who's open about his sexuality. I personally don't see it as a deal breaker. But yeah, just like I would date a man who is maybe non-monogamous, I would also date a man who is bisexual. And I don't see anything wrong with that as long as there's communication, as long as they might be committed to me. So yeah, just that's what I think. I would definitely date somebody who is bisexual.
Thank you so much. I know this is a really interesting topic, you guys, and it's we could go on and on and on, but it's now time for us to split up in our groups as men and women and really kind of discuss the potential matches we might be getting. So I will go ahead and cut to a break, and we're going to talk about the men will let you have your locker room talk, and the girls, we're going to have our time. So here it is. Thank you so much. And cut.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the only one that I think is, or there's only two that I think are actually attractive, which is Eric and then the one with the big ears. Shoot, which one's Eric? The Asian. Oh, yeah. Everyone else, I mean, Greg is like traditional handsome, but it's like American Psycho.
It's the eyes.
Yeah, it's the eyes.
It is the eyes. Because they're too big.
No, it's because it's like the.
Can they hear us? They can't hear us, right?
They can't hear us, right?
They can hear.
Oh my god.
I don't think
Because
so.
yesterday they turned on the TV. If y'all can hear us,
The
turn it
TV
off.
in the green room, they turned it on yesterday.
So I don't turn it off. Can we turn it off?
Make sure they can't hear what we're saying.
Has anyone actually spoken to Greg?
He was talking this morning about how he cut his like face like peeling vegetables, and I was like, yeah, Rainy Street. That's Rainy Street. I don't know. He was like, I was dancing. I don't know. Maybe I walked in the gym yesterday.
All right. So this is our powwow. Let me know when y'all are recording. So lady, I'm gonna get in the middle right here. I'm gonna sit
Yay!
down. Bring on.
Oh, I like this. I like this setup.
All right.
3, 2.
So now, ladies, we are doing the part where we're really judging these guys, not just based on looks, but their personality. And we got that opportunity to see their real points of view during the town hall. So please don't hold back. Share your thoughts, and let's talk about it. The first guy I want to talk about, what did y'all think? Oh, raise your hand if you want to talk about Leo. Anyone? All right, thank you.
Leo seemed very laid back, very chill. He didn't have a lot to say. He was just kind of present. I fear that he just didn't leave a strong impression on me, or I don't think he left a strong impression on any of us, really. Not necessarily like a negative thing, but not really a positive either.
All right. And Angus. Angus was the young man who was kind of slouched in the chair and...
I'll speak to that. Yeah, I mean, I think that Leo and Angus kind of came in with the same attitude that, like, I mean, kudos to them for being curious and open to the experience, but, like, they didn't really step in and contribute much in terms of conversation. And the couple of times that each of them spoke, they seemed more confused than they did certain.
So maybe they're trying to find themselves. They are on the youngest
they're a little
scale.
young, yeah.
I think 22, 26.
Is this? I gave one a lap dance and held the other one's hand.
Yes, that was the one.
I might have broke them. Sorry.
Oh no, Myra. All right, and what did y'all think of Ben? The curly-haired, tall, soft-spoken poet. Took you by the hand.
So Ben comes off very nicely. I think I don't think he's totally genuine. It seemed a little. It was like a little bit of an act to me. He presents himself well. I think he dresses well, but I didn't really believe him.
Oh, anyone else? Ben. Okay.
I think Ben seems sweet. I like that he has like old school values, and he's a nice guy. But I need a little bit extra oomph or fire from him.
Okay, right? A little
take
bit.
initiative.
He felt like Pisces energy to me a little bit, just like watery, like the poet.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, raise your hands for Blake. Blake, curly hair. Oh,
Yeah.
He was the one talking about how girls need to pay for their own dates.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that and he slouched a lot, you know? And so, like, I noticed, like, all day. Well, I actually mentioned to him, too. I was like, I think you're slouching. And he was like, oh, well, we're not filming. And I was like, oh, okay. That's how you present yourself. And so I think that's very important for a man is how you present yourself. And then the 50-50 was, like, dead in the water. Yeah.
Like,
dead in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass that mic around, girl.
Yeah,
okay.
I have something nice to say.
I didn't notice him slouching. I do think him saying 50-50 is like berserko crazy. Like I think we all were like, no way. But I do think that he seems shy and nice enough or like malleable enough that if I was like, pay for the date, he's gonna pay for the date. So it works for me.
Like, but do you want a man that is going to be like do whatever you say? Because then how is he going to lead you in a relationship?
Good thoughts. Okay. Next on the list is Adam. Oh wait, no, excuse me, not Adam. Trentimus.
I really liked his energy. I felt like he leads the household. He leads, but in a way with love. Like how he mentioned that yesterday really stood out to me. I was able to talk to him a little bit, and I just felt like a very calming energy from him, and like and especially him being in his he's 41, he knows who he is, and he's been through it. So I felt like I really resonated with him.
Anyone else want to say something about Trentimus? Oh, okay. Go. Let's pass that mic down.
I just really liked how he was very kind. First of all, he has a great voice, and also just it sounds like he knows what he really wants out of life, and he knows what he wants in a woman. So I respect that.
Awesome. Ladies, anyone else want to talk about Trentimus?
I think he has some red flags.
Yeah. I really appreciate his energy, and I really love the way that he just it seems like because of the work that he does with men, like that he just knows how to treat a woman and what women, many women are actually looking for.
Yes.
I think we're all opposite on this side.
Okay. I'll speak for this team. No, I think he is amazing and great. I found that he already has a drawing of his ideal woman, and he's just looking to fit. Oh, do you fit this model? And just given how I approach relationships, which is extremely the opposite, it just wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, I feel you, girl. Let's talk about Greg. Anyone wants to? I feel like he is the crowd favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Can I go and then I'll pass it down?
Yeah. Greg, you hear that?
Greg.
They love you, Greg.
With Greg, I love his high energy, very bold personality. I just want to see the truth. I want him to come out a little more, and he's very he puts on a great smile. He's very playful. I want to see who he truly is underneath all of that. I think that's where I'm curious about Greg. I don't know enough, but I like what I'm seeing. He's handsome. He presents very well. Like dresses very well. Great shoes. But I just want to see. I want to see the true Greg.
You mean the one that wakes up in the morning, maybe not perfect?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
has like some spittage in from last night or whatever, yeah. So maybe he comes off a little too perfect. Interesting, ladies.
Yeah, I think he's really handsome, and there's like an energy of him that I just like, that makes me like a little bit of an arrogance that I picked up from him. But I think that that's a mask for who he truly is.
Maybe he's a nice guy underneath all that.
He's the only man I rated 10 and 10. So
10 and 10,
when he
Greg.
walked in, I noticed when
he
he
also
was
voted himself that, by the way.
I believe it. So like he presented the way he described himself, like businessman from a small town farm in New York, and so I liked that. And then when he was in the hot seat describing like what he was looking for in a woman, I was like, oh, that's me. And so I liked his approach to that as well. So like what we did get from him, I was like attracted to. And then when I had talked to him behind the scenes about that he is in real estate and that he runs a podcast, like we had a lot to resonate on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Greg definitely rates the highest on my list. He's just like 10s across the board. That's just what I gotta say. Like,
all right, let's go to our next one. So, Sunny.
I mean, here's the thing. Listen, yeah, all right. Yeah. Listen, when I first saw Sunny, my brain was like, yeah, I want to like know more about this guy. He's like, he seems sweet. He seems kind of funky, wonky. Like he was like, I don't have a first name, and I was like, why though? Like, I just wanted to like know. I just didn't understand him, and I think that's like what made me want to know him more. Then he spoke in the hot seat. Okay, and I mean, I think he was nervous. He came across as nervous, and he wasn't making any sense, and he was just kind of rambling and like stumbling over his words, and that felt kind of unattractive to me. I fear I rated him a little bit low on personality because of that yesterday, and now I kind of regret it because I'm like, oh, I should have given him more of a chance, because out of everyone, I am probably most interested in him, just because he just seems like a cool guy. Like, he just does.
Right. Now, Paul.
No.
I'll say it I'm going to say this in the nicest way. I would like to know who Paul is without the data.
Yeah.
Like, he relies so much on data. I have no idea how he really feels about anything.
That's how I felt too. Okay, one more talk about Paul. I mean, but y'all can speak out loud, just because I mean there is a mic here in the audience.
I kind of feel like Paul is a little misunderstood. I think he thinks very analytically, and that's like with the very computer. I would like to see more of his personality, but I don't think he was trying to be hurtful or anything. I think he was just spitting out facts, and that might have been a coping mechanism or just a way he like navigates and processes through life.
Yeah. Okay, now, sorry I'm trying to run through this so fast. Eric. Eric was the sexy Asian boy.
Yeah, I thought he was really smooth, like the way he was talking. He had like a little country accent that popped through. I like that. But I mean, bringing it back up, like him mentioning being a little toxic, I think that's being more honest than a lot of people who are going to sit up here and be like, I'm the perfect catch and you're the perfect catch for me. So I liked the little bit of honesty from him.
Anyone else that thought Eric was...
I'm gonna face with, I do like Eric. He seems cool, but I did feel like he's like trying to pull out red flags, right? And then he's like, my biggest red flag is I use too many emojis. Like that was so shallow. Like that was so like that was not a real red flag. So I feel like he was giving like fake red flags.
Maybe he was just.
So I
I
wanted to know more.
Maybe somebody complained about that in the past.
Okay, that's
true.
true.
Like maybe they're like, I want, some people are texters and some people aren't. I am not a texter.
I do want his jacket though.
And some of the girls in the past have been like, no.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone who likes Eric.
I did like Eric. I was a little confused.
I think to follow up on that, it takes a lot to admit like an actual red flag you have. And when he said that yesterday, my first thought was like, I don't know if I should say it, but I have a red flag. I'm like, I cannot stand my ex. Like he and I have a really bad relationship and we are not on speaking terms. And when the breakup was awful, I'm like, I think that's a red flag about me, like that I don't like this person and went really bad. And I feel like it takes a lot to admit something about yourself. So the fact that he was like, oh, mine is I use too many emojis. I'm like, no, like what's the real one? It takes guts and it takes vulnerability to really admit that,
Yeah. Anyone else might have a crush on Eric?
I just wanted to speak on something.
We want the crushes.
Yeah, I thought Eric was pretty cool. Maybe not the perfect fit for me, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that he said like a little bit of there's a little bit of like toxicity, like a little bit of that is like healthy. Yeah, in my opinion, this is something that's interesting with me. I had a conversation with somebody about this not too long ago. But I kind of like it when a guy's a little bit mean to me sometimes. Not like a mean, not in that way, but like just like kind of like a little bit like playful, like a little bit like I think there's a healthy amount of like kind of not toxicity, but like a little bit kind of like a little bit of like sparks like that. That kind of energy. I don't know how to describe it, but like yeah.
And now we're going to talk about the last one, guys, Ryan. What did y'all think about Ryan? Tall guy, sweetheart.
I'm going to speak to him. He's tall and very handsome. His energy feels really good and calming to me. And I got some time to talk to him offline, and like he was very, like he's educated, and we're both in real estate, which is really amazing to me. And yeah, I really enjoyed his energy.
Yes.
I'm interested. That's true. I'm interested in Ryan because I think we're like not compatible in a really juicy way, though. Like, I felt him like lingering around me, and I felt like I was mean to him, and he was still like around, and I'm like, I kind of like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to go ahead?
I agree. I think Ryan came in with a lot of curiosity. Like my impression of him is he's a really nice guy, like truly. But he was just curious, asked questions, like and none of it was aggressive. It was just like, hey, who are you? Like, tell me about you. And he was the only person who really came up and did that like very specifically, which was cool. Yeah.
Well, ladies,
I like him.
Now it's time for the guys to have their turn on y'all. And now we are going to get our matches after this. So let's see.
There's gonna be a lot of which one is that. Can we edit that out?
No. Actually, take it up with the boss. Take it up with the boss. All right, so we just saw all the women talk about their opinions and their thoughts. We got to see a little bit more of their personality, a little bit more than we first saw. A little bit of, I'm sure some of them are now more exciting in your eyes, and some of them are a little less exciting. And I'd love to hear what our thoughts are on each one. What are y'all's thoughts on Victoria? She was one in the middle of the front row, sitting right where you're sitting. Who would like to talk about Victoria?
From Houston?
I don't remember if she's from Houston, but I do remember she was in the front.
The short one?
Small build, Cuban, brunette.
Oh, she's Cuban.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think that was Brian. You wasn't.
Yeah, I thought she was cute. She carries herself very well. She's very intelligent, speaks well. You can tell she puts a lot of thought behind something, just comes out, and I think there's humility in there. And I think for a good couple to exist, both people have got to have confidence in themselves, but also really realize that the other person has a say in a group setting as well. So I think she carries that into the relationship that she brings. So I found that attractive quality.
So that she's comfortable saying stuff, but she's also comfortable deferring opinions as well.
Well, yeah, I think compromise has to be part of a good relationship, So I think she has that aspect, whereas if someone's too confident and they're unwavering, you're kind of just given all the time. So I think there's a balance there.
Yeah. Who else has some thoughts about Victoria?
I think she's beautiful. I think she's a businesswoman, so she's smart and it's good.
So it's a go for you.
Yeah, let's say.
Any other thoughts?
I want to see more of her personality. It seems like she's holding herself very firm, and I want to see the wild, fun, silly, playful side to her. I wonder if it's there because of how much she's holding herself in that place.
Yeah, a little reserved.
Mm-hmm.
A little shy.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, who is she really?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel that. All right. And what about Emma? Emma was the one who was sitting on the far side in the front row.
Gosh. Emma.
Tell us, Greg.
She lost me.
Wait, can you look at the camera?
Where is it?
There's a bunch of them.
She lost me at polyamory, I think we had a shot. I could just picture us in Costa Rica, sipping on coconut water. And then as soon as she started talking about that, I just had to say no. Beautiful woman, goodness gracious. Jeans. Anyways, here we go. Who else?
Lost you at polyamory, eh?
Yeah, definitely at first came off as I don't know what the correct word for it is. Very robotic or kind of cookie cutter. I kind of saw it as like on the prairie vibes very, American traditionalist. But she actually opened my eyes a little bit. I was very surprised to hear kind of more liberal viewpoints from her. She's very beautiful. I'm just surprised by her generally.
She does seem kind of like a Southern belle a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a weird dichotomy right there, a weird contrast in between, how she presents herself versus her, ideas and her opinions.
Is it a good surprise?
I think it's
Yeah, you don't have a mic, so I'm just going to repeat the question he asked. Is it a good surprise?
I think it's, cool, and she might be shy or something like that. Who knows? She's hiding something, or she doesn't want to show that. I don't know. I thought it was cool. Maybe I think it's just cool to see someone just based off of first impressions kind of give you a little bit of a surprise. Yeah.
Who else has thoughts about her, about Emma?
I could also like kind of affirm like what Sunny was saying, that like I think it was interesting based off very first impressions. She seemed very nervous or kind of like timid, like looking into the camera, like behaving nervously, but she seems very affirmed in her own beliefs, like opinionated, which is okay to be opinionated, but she seems like very steadfast in what she believes, which is usually something I don't equate to being like nervous or timid. So I thought that was very interesting, very cool.
And so there's a lot of interesting differences between how she comes across versus how she is inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
In a few ways.
For sure.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Next up, what do y'all think about Myra? There we go. Very quick. Let's go, Paul.
I was on the fence about her. I like her free-spiritedness. I like the lap dance, but she completely lost me with her answer about 50-50. And I don't even believe in 50-50. So I was technically on her side, but I want to be generous. I want it to be an act of generosity. And for her, it seemed like you owe me. For her, it seemed like an act of grievance. And she could be entirely right on the merits of that argument, but I'm calling ick.
Yeah, it's like, to be honest, that's also my point of view. It's like, why is it a must? Like, you have to, like, you owe me because of something that you had no part in. It's no longer an act of generosity. Now it's an act of you have to get us back to a baseline.
I think personally part of that is she just hasn't had any like man, and I'm just assuming that like kind of was a lot more firm in that, I think she is the type of person that kind of attracts men that she can kind of have a say with. So that's kind of her expectation in it. So personally, I think she's like bad. Like that's the one, bro. And I feel like that's something that can change. Like the 50-50 can be what she says today, or like the 100-0 is what she says today. We can sway that 50-50 pretty easy, bro. Like I'm being honest in that.
She just needs a man to show her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Link them together.
Yeah. Oh, we got some other strong opinions here.
Yeah. To Eric's point, if I was looking for a mommy to spank me when I was bad, I think that she'd be an incredible fit. Yes.
Yeah, but that is a vibe. That is a dynamic that a lot of men choose. Right. It can be an exciting dynamic. Some people are more submissive. Some guys are more submissive. So she's perfect for some. Let's get one more.
So what I see is that there are a lot of women that don't feel safe with men, understandably so, because we've messed up a lot. We've hurt women. We didn't know what we were doing. We were still hurting ourselves. And I feel like Myra might be one of those women that's had that happen. And hey, I don't trust you, but I want to love you, and I want to be loved, and I want to be led, and I want to feel safe, and I want to feel cared for, and I want to feel like I can be in my feminine. And it would take, Eric, you're absolutely right. It would take a strong man. Like, hey, I love you, I see you. I'm going to work through your storm that comes at me, and you want to fight, and you want to have all this. The right man that's like, I'm here, I see you, I'm in this. More of a leading, like, hey, sit down, I love you, we're good, let's do this together, I'm not going anywhere. This is what we're doing. And in a way of service and love, I feel like she would melt more into her feminine and could make for a great partner.
Yeah, a strong, resilient man can bring her back to her femininity. Gotcha. What do y'all think about Ramona? She's the one that looked like poison ivy. Bright, dark, saturated, dark, curly, red hair. Yeah. Let's go, both of you too. but on the end first.
Yeah, I thought Ramona was very attractive. You know, I'm 6'2", so like having someone close to my height is great. But you know, she said she was very accomplished, and like you can tell she has intelligence and thought behind what she says, and so there'd be a lot of interesting dialogue. And you know, I'm sure as a partner we'd be able to help each other out quite a bit. So to me, intelligence is like pretty high on the priority list. So having someone like that demonstrate that pretty well in a place like this is high priority.
You like that she's intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely, and the height too is nice. Yeah, and beautiful. Yeah, all those things.
Beautiful, yeah. And also, when we put our microphones to our face, let's do it close like this. Yeah, this is a little too far. It's hard to hear, and also if we're not pointing it at our mouth. So
yeah,
just keep it steady, straight like this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I also find Ramona attractive. I think she's one of the more grounded contestants that I've noticed out of the female side. I thought it was really interesting when she had spoken on polygamy versus monogamy, that she said, well, I do believe that this can exist, but I don't know, you know, how this exists because of how do people have time for it, which I think is a really like interesting angle to take on that question. It wasn't, you know, being closed-minded to the idea of other people having differing opinions from herself, but also like being genuinely curious or demonstrating like genuine curiosity on like how other people might make that lifestyle work. So I thought that was really cool to see.
Grounded practicality into it.
I think so.
Yeah. Let's get some more from this side. One of you two.
No, yeah, she's got those MILF vibes, so we could definitely run it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, she was talking about she has a lot of experience. I think, you know, I love mentors. I'd love to know what type of experience she's talking about. She says she works out. That's very good. I love a woman who works out. Yeah, pretty much. I think she's nice, and yeah.
A little MILF here and there. I know you're also into older women as well. Correct. And also some. We're gonna move on to the next one. Some feedback on her ability to be reasonable and grounded. So I like that. Next we have Rain, who was sitting right where you were. Was sitting right where you are sitting.
Okay, K. I think it's K actually.
Oh yeah, my bad. Rain was in the back. So Rain in the back.
Younger, beautiful, amber eyes, young curly hair, right?
Yes. You have an opinion on her. I can hear it.
I could tell she's really young, way young for me. 23. Her eyes are beautiful. It shows her soul. To me, she hasn't embodied her woman yet. And for me, it's a no. It's like sister vibes, but not partner vibes.
So a connection, but not romance.
Yes, like sweet. I could see her beauty and how wonderful and kind she is as a soul, but she hasn't developed into a woman yet.
Gotcha. Anyone else have thoughts about Rain with an E at the end?
Yeah, you know, I could tell the same thing. She seems young. She's, you know, she listens to different type of music, but sometimes, you know, you need to guide those type of women to become actual women, you know, and not get lost and lose a couple years. So, yeah.
It's a little inexperienced, do you think? Yeah. What do you think?
No, yeah, I like the curly hair. Thought she was pretty cute. You know, like,
Cute curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have the microphone a little close to your mouth. What do you
Okay.
think about her vibe?
I really couldn't get much from her vibe based on what we heard. She seems pretty like easygoing. If I had to say anything.
So not too much that stood out to you.
Yeah, no, nothing crazy.
Yeah. Fair enough. Next, I would love to talk about Nancy.
Nancy Marie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who has thoughts about Nancy? She's sitting right where Paul was. She was sitting right where Paul
the
is.
dress. Yeah.
Blonde hair.
More traditional. I feel like Nancy Marie is going to make a great partner for someone. She's loyal, she's loving, she has a relationship with God, she knows who she is, she's confident in herself, and she would be incredibly, again, loyal. Like, if the right man, she's going to go all in for and take really good care of and be there for.
But why not you? I can hear that in between the words.
I vibe and type.
Okay. Vibe how?
Vibe as in I feel more of a motherly vibe than I'm attracted to her and want to create a life with her vibe.
You want like a more of a spark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paul?
I'm trying to remember, what was her conversation about in the town hall roundtable?
She was more like conservative. Yeah, polyamory. She was a conservative.
She talked about polyamory. Yeah. Attractive woman, but I don't think I think she might be a little too conservative and traditional for me.
You want a more open-minded woman.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she would find me a little hard to deal with.
Who wouldn't, though?
That was uncalled for.
Worth it.
All right. Pick up my roster. I mean my ballot. Freudian slip there. So Kaya, what do you think about Kaya?
Copper pantsuit.
Well, sure. What do I think about Kaya? You know, she threw us all a curveball this afternoon talking about being bisexual. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming. And that just goes to show that you can never really tell what's going on behind closed doors. I like her confidence because she's very outgoing, very outspoken, easy to talk to, vivacious, electric. As far as for me personally, I wouldn't say that she's my type.
What's not her type about you? About her?
So I'm a fashion and I'm a physique guy, and I'd say that from my personal perspective, they rank not high on the scale.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
love the honesty. Who else?
So I've spoken to Kaya kind of behind the scenes on set a little bit, and she has corrected me on quite a few things at this point. I was slouching once, and she said, "Oh, correct your posture, for the camera. Make sure to sit up straight." When we weren't rolling, and I was like, "Okay, well, it's fine." But I feel like I don't know. There's been a couple of times where I've noticed that she's kind of gone out of her way to correct others or to kind of like deem the course of others when I find it kind of not necessary. I don't really know her in a way that I needed to take that type of advice from her. I also think that yes, she is very outgoing, but I think in a way that's a little more aware of others than herself.
A little domineering.
Yeah, and a little lacking a little bit of self-awareness, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I hear you. And she was the one that came in and just answered the questions right off the bat. And I'm a 10. Yeah. So, little, it's congruent with the rest that we see.
Off record, I feel like she's...
Let's go on record.
Okay, this is my intuition. I know psychology really well, and I can notice little tiny patterns. It's also intuitive, so I could be totally wrong. I feel like she's actually deeply, secretly insecure, and that's why she projects on other people to have to fix the things, and she's more focused on other people than herself.
A little psychoanalysis. I love it. So we have 3 more. Let's go one by one. Tivy. Yes. I'm just reading it. She was the one that was right next to Rain in the back row. She was the one. She was the one that was very conservative views, 50-50. And yesterday she came out with very strongly against polyamory. Very strongly. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we got completely opposite viewpoints. Yeah, pretty much. I look in the mirror and I just don't see. I don't see it. When it comes to her, I just don't see it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna vibe on the same things.
Yeah, no. I mean, other than the monogamy thing, which I agree with, I would. No,
Let's have the mic.
I would assume no one wants a girl out and about doing stuff. So I agree with that, but other than that, I just don't think we'd get along.
What about it? Like a vibe?
Yeah, just the vibe.
Gotcha. All right, 2 more. 2 more. Helena. What do y'all think about Helena? Okay, you got a strong opinion. Let's go.
I mean, I like Helena. I think she's really cool. She's attractive. She's assertive but agreeable. I think that she would be... I think that fighting with her would be productive as opposed to destructive. We would be fantastic friends. She might be a little too traditional for me. Well, as it happens, I'm not bisexual, so I've got that covered for what she's looking for in a man. But we might just be better as friends.
Yeah, but it's the values more so, not that specific issue. But what that shows about her values.
Yeah, she's got that cake, so I mean.
She does got that cake.
Yeah, it's looking nice.
So physique-wise, you're like, I'm a go. I don't see any red flags. Let's go for it.
Oh yeah, she's on point.
I love it.
She's the which one?
The black one.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous woman. Could be a cheerleader, and she's also, even though she's young, I could tell that she would be great in a relationship. She's too young for me, though. She asks great questions. She's present, and I feel like she's going to be an incredible woman.
Yeah. Well, the last one that we're going to talk about is the one that I know you want to talk about the most.
Yeah.
So you got the mic. Let's go.
Okay,
Kay. What do you think about Kay?
So, Kay is one of the ones I feel that is actually in her womanhood, that knows who she is, that knows what she wants, is willing to be there for a man, is willing to work on things and go all in. And I think she's attractive. I need to get to know her more to know if I'm attracted enough to her to long-term commit. Yet I like how she's a successful businesswoman. She's fun. She's open to being led. She enjoys that from a man, and she's traditional.
So she's looking for the kind of relationship that you're looking for. She's ready for it, and it's a go for you.
Mhm.
All right, one more person, and then let's wrap this up.
Kay is someone that typically I wouldn't go for, but there's something about her like aura and energy where I'm kind of drawn to it, where it's like I don't really know the full extent of who she is. She's very confident, very in tune with who she is, but there's something that's like still worth exploring with her. And so I kind of like just the mysteriousness of it, where I'm like, who is this person really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, something's pulling you in.
Yeah, it's just a little bit.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for being so candid and honest.
agree.
We're going to wrap this up. We're going to come back together, and we're going to see who we're matched with. Yeah, I don't know what you just mouthed.
Camera guys on there?
Yeah. You just mouthed. I'm like, I don't know.
All right. Oh my God, Joe, hasn't this been so exciting? This has been really amazing getting to know these beautiful men and women.
A lot of surprises. People had some opinions I had no expectation of.
No. Do you think there's some love in the air?
I think there's some love in the air. There's a couple of sparks flying here and there.
Some good matches might be coming up.
I'm crossing my fingers.
I know. So this part, y'all, is the time where we announce the matches. Now, I am the professional matchmaker here, so I have chosen these matches based on compatibility, all right? So yeah, I think we should start with our first match. Now, again, to win the prize, the one couple will get to win a free trip to Costa Rica. But if they decide right here and now that they don't want to be matched with that person, that takes them out of the running for that.
100%. There's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
You either go with the flow and see where it goes, or you drop out right now.
Yes. So now, please, when your name is called, have your finger like this. You can veto it or you can approve it. And if you decide to go with your match, you can walk off stage, okay? All right, everyone knows the rules? Everyone knows? Audience, we know the rules? Okay. We stay in our seat until your name is called, and then you get your finger up, and we will announce your match. And if it is a yes, thumbs up. But both thumbs have to be up. It can't just be one. So you do have veto power on both sides. So you don't have to go on a date you don't want to go on. But we will, audience, be following with a secret camera crew going on dates with these fine young men and women here to see who's having the authentic connection, who's really worthy of going to Costa Rica for free.
Who's worthy?
All right.
All right, drum roll, please.
Drum roll, okay.
First up.
We're going to start with Myra. Okay. So you had a lot of guys that really liked you, really thought you were awesome and amazing. But we really thought, my producers, Joe and I, really felt that Eric was the good match for you. So do you give him a thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Which one's Eric?
Oh my goodness. So what is it? Oh, you have to do it too. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, we got a thumbs up. We got a thumbs up.
There we go. A match made in heaven.
Awesome. Here, do you have anything real quick to say before you go on y'all's first date? To each other.
You better get ready. You better get ready.
I'm ready. Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh, love is in the air. Okay.
They look super excited.
Oh my God, yes.
They
All
look
right,
super
so
excited.
one couple down, and hopefully some more to go. Okay, so next couple. All right, do we have Trentimus? Trentimus, okay. All right, now let's take a look at this. So after much deliberation and just a lot of just thoughtful conversation, who did we pick for him?
We picked the one and only Kay.
Okay. All right, well, let's get our thumbs up or thumbs down. All right. Okay. Oh!
There we go. There we go.
All right.
Y'all
Can
didn't
you
make your
tell the
attraction
audience
secret.
anything before you go on your date?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Like the interactions we've had so far and who I see you to be.
Yeah, same here.
Yes.
All right, now skip
Yeah,
off
no.
into the sunset.
Okay. All right. Next up, this was a hard one. This was very difficult because many. This was, I think, a favorite. Greg, you were the favorite among all the ladies.
By far.
By far. But only one lady can win, right? Only one. So, would the lady Victoria please stand up? All right. Yes or no? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, here it is. Thumbs up. Thumbs down.
Oh, the first casualty of the evening.
All right. Okay. All right. Next.
That is all right.
okay,
Sometimes
you know?
it happens.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we're not aware of what we want. I mean, we do what we want. Okay, let's go.
Not everyone is compatible.
All right. Okay. Emma. All right. Okay. Emma, you had a lot of people that loved you, a lot of guys, but this is based on what me and a lot of the producers here felt that you would make a really good match for, and that would be Paul. Paul, thumbs up, thumb
Thumbs
down.
up. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Okay.
Another casualty
I'm
of
sorry.
the evening.
All right. Well, we're going to the next one.
It happens.
It happens. Okay. Ramona. We had a lot of young men who really, really loved you, by the way. So let's take a look. Who did we have for her?
So Ramona, we want a little bit of a drum roll, please. Ryan. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It's another match. Made in the studio. I was gonna say made in heaven, but
Made in heaven,
it's made in the studio.
Made at match value.
I'm excited. I can't wait
Yeah,
to.
me too.
get
I was
to
very
know you a little
impressed.
better.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what else there is.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey.
Simple, to the point.
No, wait. This way.
Okay.
There you go in some way.
Okay. Yeah. We'll slow it down.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So you hear that? Just hold the thumbs up for a couple seconds. and
More
we'll-
drama. A little more drama.
Okay. Okay, now, who do we have next?
Benjamin.
Okay. All right. And who did we match Ben with?
So Ben.
Wait. Are you excited? Are you nervous? How are you feeling? I'm excited. Okay. All right. Get your thumb out. Get it ready to go.
Get your thumb out. So we did a lot of deliberation, did a lot of thinking. We tapped into the sky, the ground, and everything, and we found that Kaya. 3, 2, 1. At least it's mutual. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. At least it's mutual.
All right. Well, our couplers are y'all might be getting pretty lucky. I mean, it might just, here we go. Let's find this out. All right. Let's see. Sunny. Sunny, are you a little nervous? A little bit? Okay. Here we go. Sunny. So who did we match Sunny with?
So Sunny, we did some deliberation. We looked at your matches and what you rated each other, and we decided that Rain. Thumbs out. 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Let's go.
All right. Okay. What do you have to say to the audience?
Sick.
Yeah, our
Hell
names
yeah.
match, so.
They
I'm
do match,
excited.
actually. Wait, I didn't even think about that. Did y'all do that?
No, that was just
I think I pointed that out.
That was pretty
first.
sick.
Yeah,
the
let's
things that
go.
y'all said about each other and just the
Aw.
energy we felt on the crew and the cast of it.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Sick.
cool.
Thank you guys.
Okay, bye y'all.
All right. Skip off into the sunny rain sunset now.
Yeah. All right.
It's getting more competition for Costa Rica, it looks like.
Okay.
It's not a clear shot anymore.
Did we wanna have any steals if nobody was matched?
Somebody who like we have 2 or 3 people, 3 or 4 couples who did not get matched, and if y'all want to be bold enough to claim one of the others that has not been matched yet.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yeah, yeah, after we go through the rest of them. Okay, here we go. All right.
So the one's I think that's it.
Okay, so the next one is Blake. All right. You had some very interesting viewpoints, and, you know, the ladies thought you were handsome. And so now we're going to discuss it. Great. Who was his match?
So Blake, we appreciate your honesty. We appreciate your opinions and the way that you came to the table with a strong point of view. And we matched you up with Ty-V.
So thumbs out, up or down?
Yeah!
Awesome.
Double up. We got a double up on that side.
Yes, awesome. Anything you want to say to the audience?
He will be paying for the date.
We're going to Disney World.
Sometimes.
All right.
That one I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't entirely sure.
Okay. All righty then. Here we go. Helena. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You were the crowd favorite. Every single guy thought you were 10. Cheerleader. Someone who could be on my team with. All of the above. Okay. So here, what was her match?
I'm gonna let you do this one.
Okay, and remember, you know, we can still, like, if there's anyone here who wants to still, we can, after all the matches have been read. Drum roll, please. All right. And who do we have? Let's take a look. Leo. Thumbs up, out. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Another mutual decision.
You know, we can't always get it right, and, you know, we just gotta, you know, go with our gut, and I'm glad that all of y'all were able to say no, because audience, the truth of the matter is that we should all be in our hell yes, and if we're not in our hell yes, we're in our hell no. So at this time, I'm going to, if you see anyone that you would like to play the game still, please raise your hand. If there is a young, okay, we already have someone. All right.
We got one.
All right. What about Nancy, what do we have for Nancy?
Yes.
Okay.
We talked about that one so much, I figured we already said it.
Okay. All right.
So it's not very much a secret because everyone else, we've already talked about everybody.
Okay. Nancy, thumb up.
Angus.
Angus is your match.
3, 2. Okay. Another mutual one. Ben, you have a strong opinion about somebody.
Yeah. Should I grab this microphone? I just would say, Victoria, you're really beautiful, and I liked getting to know you. And if you wanted to go on a date, I think that would be cool.
What do you have to say? Thumb out?
Caesar.
Aww.
But it's you miss all the shots you don't take, you know?
That's right. That's right, audience. You miss all the shots you
That's
don't
a good lesson to
take
take from this.
Yeah.
You're taking this in stride, and I respect that.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else for a steal? Anyone else? Raise your hand. Anyone else? Going once?
Nobody wants Greg? Nobody. I thought all of y'all wanted Greg.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Angus.
Well, I also think I would like to go on a date with Victoria. Thought she was pretty cute.
All right, Victoria, thumb up or down? I'm sorry. All right. Well,
Nobody wants to go take Greg? Okay. He's like, stop. No, please don't put me in the
all right.
spotlight.
Well, thank you all for trying. We really appreciate y'all coming on the show. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen at home, for tuning in, for listening, and for really enjoying the ride, you know? And that's what love is really about. Love is about taking chances with people and places that you might not be familiar with. But it's only when we take the chance. It's only when we step in our power and allow ourselves to embody what love is, which means being vulnerable. So yeah, so thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I appreciate you watching. We explored a lot of different ideas of what people think, what people don't think, and how sometimes people can have differing opinions. And that can mean that even if there's a spark in the air, maybe it's not the best idea. Compatibility is really important in making sure that the spark becomes a flame.
All right, thank you so much. And I guess our next episode is going to be following our dates around. Woo! And then one lucky couple gets to win a trip to Costa Rica. Thank you so much and have a good night. Yes! Awesome. There will be an after party, 512 Studios. Get with Aria if y'all want to come. And so for sure there's going to be drinks and food and all kinds of things. 6 to 12.
going to be after party. It's going to be good.
Yes, thank you.
Gracias, gracias, muy gracias. I gave you your pen back, yes? Yes, sir. I hope I did. Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure.
And so I've talked
All
to
right,
like 40
3,
people.
2, 1, and we're rolling.
Woo! Oh my goodness, that was quite an intense moment, was that not?
Yeah, a lot
Wow.
of people denied. A lot of people, especially the past people at the end, who weren't taken up by the others that didn't have matches. That was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping that there would be some people with the courage to come in for the still. You know, at least that. You know, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, a few interesting things happened during the show that are not what I expected.
Yeah, I mean, but ultimately, I think that, you know, it's really hard to put yourself out there, right? You know, and just to speak to the audience for a minute, you know, I know that y'all have so much to really put on the line, to really feel valued and seen and heard, and that's hard to do on a television show, let alone in real life. But at the end of the day, you know, we all just want significance. We all just want love and to be appreciated and to be seen. And there are some real issues out there that are causing people not to connect.
Yeah, people have a lot of different views on how dating is supposed to happen. Some people are into polyamory, some people are into monogamy. That was a hot button issue this time.
Oh my goodness. I felt that, you know, I know that a lot of the men really thought that there were some really beautiful ladies, but as soon as they were like, I'm polyamorous, it just completely was a no for them. And that's their right, absolutely, to, you know, their right to be able to choose what they want, what aligns with your values.
100%. And it surprised me that a lot of the women were interested in polyamory and a lot of the men were not. I've personally experimented with both, and I've found that in a long-term relationship, emotional monogamy is very important to me. But my impression was that if there was a gender or a sex that would want polyamory more than the other, it would be the men. And at least in this room, that was not the case.
No, not the case at all. And yeah, but we did get some couples. We did get some amazing couples, and I'm really excited on going on those dates with them. Oh my goodness, to really go a little bit deeper than what we could do just here in the audience and watch some love unfold.
I'm excited, and I'm really excited that there were a couple of couples who both of them were really excited about the other person, and we noticed that on set. We noticed that behind the scenes. We noticed that because I know that one of them, Trentimus, actually came up to me and said, "Hey, can I be matched with Kay, please? Can I be matched with Kay?" And I'm like, "I got you. I'll make sure that happens."
100%. That was really, really fun. Well, I want to thank you, audience, for just tuning in, for listening, for really allowing us and 20 people to be very vulnerable with you and with us. You know, I understand that it's very difficult in this world to date and to hold yourself to a certain standard and to set healthy boundaries and just to be in your most authentic version of yourself. But I want to thank you so much for joining us. For our next episode, we're going to follow our dates around, and one lucky couple will get to win a trip to Costa Rica. So that's all I got to say. Joe, what do you got to say?
I am excited to see where this unfolds, and just the insights that I've learned, that I've seen from hearing these wonderful people talk about their opinions, talk to each other, and how their thoughts about the other people changed. It's really helped me understand a little bit more about this complicated dating landscape that we have today.
And cut. What do you?
I do that when I shoot. I'm like, yeah.
And we're rolling 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that was very, very exciting. I did not anticipate the sparks and the not so sparks that happened today after everyone received their matches. Oh my God. What do you have to say, Joe?
There was a lot of shockers. Few people that, I mean, Helen and Greg, both of them were favorites from the other sex, but
They were. Greg was
they didn't
a
get
favorite.
matched.
So was Helen.
Nobody stole them at the end. Nobody was like, you know what, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I don't know if it was out of nervousness or out of maybe a change of heart.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I think the ladies actually had said to me that he was almost too perfect.
Yeah, I was lurking in the background of the room when that happened, and and that I could see that sometimes if, like Eric said earlier, if there's no red flags, sometimes that can seem like a red flag.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many issues here that we're just barely touching. We're barely tapping into this. And I can tell that that there's this is an important discussion we need to be having, not just with the audience, but with the audience at home, because I would like to see more healthy connections happen in this world. You know, as a matchmaker, but even as Fox Red Sky, I want to see more healthy connections blossom in this year and in the following years to come.
Yeah, and it can be confusing because in today's modern world, we have the freedom to have our own values and we have the freedom to create whatever kind of relationship we want. And I think that's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, if we each can have our own constellation of different ideas and values, if we get too unique and too extreme with our values, sometimes we can't find anybody. So like, what's the boundary between, like, where do you go? Do you go so far extreme that there's nobody that's compatible with you, or do you go like super mainstream where you're actually not being an individual person? Like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question, Joe. But I will tell you this, that loneliness is a real thing, and it's an epidemic in our country right now. I believe there's 63% of men under the age of 40 years old that are single right now. So it's something that I think the show can address, for sure. Match Value is trying to address here, especially during the town hall, is how can we move forward? How can this be something, a stepping stone? What are your thoughts?
I think hearing about what each individual person thought about certain topics, and then also each sex, each group, the men and the women thought about certain topics, it can illuminate what is going on in people's minds. And there were some nuances that came out about polyamory. Some people were like, always polyamory. Some people were like, never polyamory. And then some people explored the nuance where it was like, well, maybe here, maybe there, but this is what I prefer. And I think playing in that nuance, it gives you both the individuality to have your own decisions, that in your own unique way of doing relationships, but also the ability to work with others and be compatible with others and not be too unique that nobody can match.
Right. And I think for the audience at home, really and truly, it's about knowing what you want and being in your hell yes. Because anything else is really out of your integrity and your alignment. And if you really want to find that love that you desire, that is unique to you, and you are deserving of love, you are worthy of love, you can do that by knowing what it is you want and knowing what it is you deserve.
I'm excited to see how the couples go in the next episode.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And stay tuned for our next episode where we follow our couples back to the dates and see which lucky couple gets to win a free trip to Costa Rica. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you, Fox.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.